Squire gets her name over a
Father O'Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Great Bullwell in Lynchburg, Virginia. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. Go to hell!
Free your mind.
Well, what a weekend in sports. I don't know if anybody had a chance to see the New Hartford game.
They lost by 2 points, right?
Oh, my. Yeah, but you don't know how. I don't know if you know how it
No, I don't.
went. I'll tell you. So, I think we'll start with that. Let's just start with that. Although, I did want to say we're going to get some kind of warmer weather this week.
Great.
We're going to be in the upper 50s Wednesday, but then...
Is that right?
Yeah. But then it is going to turn and really feel like winter, like highs in the 30s. So be prepared for that.
By the end of the week?
By Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, all right.
Jeez.
New Hartford game. I had... you can... Any high school game that goes to the championships, you can now see on, I think it's nfhs.com. And there's an app that'll come right up on your Apple TV, and you can watch the game. So I did just that. And I did it last week and saw their game last week and saw a couple of other games, and then canceled. So they said, well, you're going to have till the end of the month, and then it wouldn't let me back in. So I got to try to get a refund.
Oh, so you have to pay for it.
You do have to pay for it.
Okay.
And it's, I think you can buy a single game for like $6 or $8, something like that. So, I wanted to see what happened with their game. And New Hartford was down. And these announcers, they're just, it's out of Binghamton. It is not out of Binghamton. It's a national service. But they'll go into a certain community where the playoffs are being played, and they'll hire like me and you, which would be an awesome broadcast.
Yes, it would.
But instead, they hired two jamokes from the Binghamton area. This kid who this was play-by-play. I finally had to turn the TV down. First of all, the coach, who they play? Who did they played? Owego? Owego was it?
Owego State, yeah.
So not state, but just Owego.
Owego Free Academy.
Yeah.
Owego Free Academy.
And the former Owego coach was the color commentator.
Okay.
So it was like watching, I don't know if you remember when Coach Mack started doing games with Syracuse football. Everything was we. No, this is not good. That's the type of color commentary we're listening to. And the kid who was doing play-by-play was like surmising after every post. Well, I assume that the coach is going to come down and really yell at them now after a play like that. Again, he was from Owego. It sounded like a student, and his play-by-play was more things like, oh, and then you just got to watch it play out because that's all you're going to get. Oh, no. Oh. Nonetheless, the game was so exciting, and New Hartford came back. They were down by 2 touchdowns, maybe more. The first half they really got blown out in the first half. And I think they were down by 2 or 3 touchdowns. And then they came out in the second half and they were running the ball. They were passing. They came back and they took the lead with seconds left. Owego, now all they need is a defensive stand. And the one thing through the game that New Hartford could not do is stop their run. But New Hartford stuffed them. And then this team, Owego, that never passes, maybe threw 2 passes in the entire postseason. That's it. Like in 3 games, 2 passes. They start throwing the ball, and it completely caught New Hartford off guard. They march down the field, kick a field goal, win the game.
Oh, no.
With 0 on the clock. What a finish that was, and a heartbreaking loss for New Hartford. So I got my $8 worth or whatever it was.
Great season, a sad ending.
Morrisville continues on, though.
Yes, they'll play for the state title on Friday. They're a little ahead. So if Whitesboro and or New Hartford had won this weekend, their next game would be the semifinal.
Right,
and then
right.
The state title would be that 6th or 7th of December. In the 8-man, they're playing the state championship game this coming week. It's Friday.
Okay.
So they were like a round ahead. There's my point there. But I'm still stuck on this is going to be bad.
Yeah,
This is bad.
You could go and watch the replay, and it was. And let me tell you something. The silence when New Hartford started coming back. The silence, and everything was from the standpoint. There was no. There was no. Wow, what a great pass by New Hartford. Or New Hartford has turned things around. Everything was. Well, I think Owego's got to work to be able to defend against this pass. I mean, they were completely confused. It was, and then ultimately their team won. But I would think that when you try to hire somebody for these games, you would try to get somebody who's at least one, like the play-by-play guy who's at least neutral.
Right. Yeah, it happens. I can understand.
Yeah, they're probably making $30.
Experience.
They're probably making $30 a game to call the game to begin with,
and traveling and everything else. So,
well, I don't think they had to travel because all the games. I think this weekend they had 3 games, I believe, in
Vestal,
wherever they were playing.
And Owego's close to there. Yes,
it's all close.
So they didn't have to travel far, but.
A few things. How about the U.S. Postal Service is announcing in advance? They don't announce that we're going to. They ask for permission, but they always get it. They're looking at some major price hikes this year. And I wonder how...
Didn't it just go up a couple of months ago?
They're promising, though, the stamp will stay the same.
Okay.
But everything else is going up. And I would think it's not the right move. I guess they need it. But I would think that the post office, being a much older company, right? Mm-hmm. It's been around forever. I'm assuming that there are a lot of legacy fees they have to deal with. Retirement. A lot of retirements.
They pay, what is it?
And they pay good. It's a good job.
Yeah. I mean, good benefits, and you get why can't I think of the word? After you retire, you still keep getting paid.
You get a retirement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but retirement, there's another word
pension.
for it. A pension, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm here all morning, but don't expect me to be able to pull up the words today. It's a Monday. On November 14th, the agency filed a notice with the Postal Regulatory Commission asking for price adjustments for 4 shipping services under the proposal, which was already approved by the governors of UPS. Ground Advantage could see the largest price increase at approximately 7.8%, followed by Priority Mail at 6.6%, Parcel Select at 6%, and Priority Mail Express service at 5.1%. But they maintain the cost of a first-class stamp will remain the same. Is it cheaper for FedEx? Is it cheaper for UPS?
I think you're better off sometimes going FedEx or UPS, yeah.
We go to, because we do quite a lot of shipping, just because we have 2 kids that are out of town. So we're shipping things, to them. And the best way is ShipRite. We go to ShipRite, which is over in the one we go to is in South Utica. And you give them the goods. It could be in a bag. They will package it up for you. All of that, and they will find you the best rate, and they'll bring up all 3 or 4 services, whatever's out there, DHS too, and they'll give you, they'll say, boy, I can get you a really good rate, have it there by Wednesday if you use whichever. Yeah, and oftentimes it is the Postal Service, but they'll find that cheaper rate for you. A lot of people shop and ship this time of year.
Yeah, of course, it's the busiest time of year for that, and they usually come out with their deadlines, right? I think that list actually came out last week. If
I think
you're
it did.
looking to get it by Christmas, it's got to be. We talked to Tanya J. Powers about that.
Let me ask you, as someone who has worked that job, what is it like after Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas?
It's hectic. It really is hectic. I will say this: there's an interesting element, and I don't know if this is. I'm sure there's. This isn't the case everywhere, and with everybody's route, but essentially, when I was with FedEx, I had 365 in Rome, Stittville. I have to write this down because I'll forget. Smitty, what else is over there? Rome, Stittville,
Lance and Lee.
Holland Patton,
Holland Patton. I had
Floyd,
a
Stittville.
little bit of Holland Patton and Floyd, okay? And then I had part of the business district in Rome, which is basically when you go through the base.
Mohawk Acre Shopping Center.
Correct. I had that up toward Lake Delta, and then I had some residential stuff on Town Line Road and roads that there's actually a Wynn Road. I think it might have been named after Wynn, Steve Wynn. But there's some residential stuff, very rural area up there. Okay, and it would take me, even on an average day, 6.5 hours to get through the route. When we would get into what they call peak season, I would have, and typically I'd have like 110 or so stops. I would get into peak season, I'd have 160 stops, but it would be concentrated all in the city of Rome, and I would be done in 4 hours. You go down one block, you make 10 stops.
Right.
So your truck is loaded. There's a little more chaos in the morning to get out on the road.
So they changed the routes around. They add people.
Well, a little bit more, yeah, because it's so everybody's shipping. So people who don't ship all year are typically you're shipping something in December. So it was always interesting to me. They would bring on a lot of extra drivers, which certainly helped. And you would look at your truck and you go, I can't even walk through here.
But you'd fly through it.
You'd go quicker because at least in the way it was set up for my route, I wouldn't have 365 anymore. They would give that to somebody else, and they would just stay on that
You
road.
couldn't fit in your truck.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Were you done after that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was
And
funny.
you got paid for a full day.
Yeah, people would say like, "I know. Thank you so much. You're working so hard," and I'm like, some 3 days a week, 4 days a week. It's like a half a day.
Although I got to tell you, some of the services, I see them like literally getting out of the car and running to the porch, dropping the package, and then running back to their truck and taking off. Like they can't keep up.
Well, the thing is, too, though, if
or maybe I want to be out by noon. I'm going to fly.
I think that's what it is. It's once you're done, you're done. So
and the other
you
thing,
can stay out here for 12 hours if you want, or you can do it in 6.
You do see people delivering late during the holiday season, much more than during the regular time of the year. Nonetheless, I do think people are good about it when it's hot during the summer. How many places did you go to? They were leaving out snacks and water or something like that.
Yeah. No, people do that. That's nice. That's nice. I've had some people tell me, "Oh, I was only there for 2 holiday seasons. Last Christmas I got $700 in tips." I'm like, "No kidding." So
really?
I'm getting all excited, and I appreciate it. I don't want to sound like I don't appreciate it, but I would get more of the here's a bottle of water and a candy bar kind of a thing.
Depends on where you're delivering.
Yeah.
Grocery store chain collected nearly. This is an update on Price Chopper. You know that on Sunday, Price Chopper did their penny deal where
that was 2 weeks ago, right?
Where if you came, your mic's not on. Go.
Last Sunday.
Last Sunday. Yes, 2 Sundays ago.
But now the numbers are out.
I went.
You did. How many penny? What did you bring?
Couldn't do it
Why?
because I didn't have.
You had to roll them.
Yeah, but I rolled them, but I wanted to wait in line, but I didn't have the patience to wait in line. So it got up to like 12:55. I said, I'm out of here. I got to go watch the Bills.
So that was part of the problem. So many people came.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so what the deal was, if you were to give them $100 in pennies, you would get $200 in gift cards. And that was the limit.
Let me tell you something, Bill. I went to Price Chopper Market 32 in Rome, and the guy before me that was waiting in line, he had 2 of them big water jugs filled.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you,
with pennies.
I'm telling you, the response was so enormous. Are you ready?
Yeah.
They collected $197,400 worth of pennies.
Yes.
Yeah, which means they gave out almost $400,000 in gift cards.
Wow.
For their pennies. Shoppers, the total amount was $394,800 in gift cards for store credit. Price Chopper said the trade-off will help customers with their holiday budget while also replenishing the supermarket supply of 1 cent coins.
So here's my question. The U.S. government is no longer making pennies?
No.
So are we getting rid of it cost me $1.06 or $1.08?
This is the thing that kills me is we stopped doing the pennies, but we haven't passed any law that will deal with it, like the round up or
round down,
round
whatever
down is what when they say in Canada, when they say round up, it means if it's $1.22 and you give them $1, they round up for you and they cover the 2 cents. But there's a law that made that happen. It isn't just like we're doing it now. Some places are already just doing that.
Yes,
but it's it ends up on a long-term basis, on a large scale, it ends up being quite a loss for these companies. So ultimately, trust me, we'll pay for it. But we're already, now there's already the shortage of pennies, and we haven't done anything to prepare for this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I also heard that it's 13 cents to make a nickel. So maybe that's next on the quote-unquote
I don't know how you
block.
can get rid of a nickel. I think that would be very difficult.
Here's what I heard somebody floating this, and I don't know if this was on this station or if this is something I heard online or if I read it. But essentially that their solution that they put forward, this was not from the government, was that we would go to everything to the 10th of a dollar, right? So
maybe the nickel does go.
Well, then you have
But
quarters.
how do you deal with tax? And
quarters.
There's got to be a roundup, right? The quarters are 25.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, or maybe I don't know how they're going to do this. Except Canada has already done it, and they just do the roundup thing. So everything remains the same in terms of prices, but it just rounds up.
So
ultimately,
$1.22, it costs you $1.25, or
no, they're
so
rounding
round down.
your payment up. I
Okay,
call that
okay.
round down. They're calling it round up, I guess. And then one more on this. And by the way, I don't know if Davey's not in there. After the game on Saturday, did you see after the Syracuse wallop? Was it 72-6?
70-7.
70-7. After that horrific loss, 3 players
Yep, seen it.
decommitted.
They weren't.
I mean, I don't know how you can. They weren't any big ones,
Right.
but still, I think they were looking at that as opportunity for themselves. But I think you're right talking about this earlier. I just feel like everything fell so badly to pieces that now we're to the point where nobody's even trying. And he's playing all freshmen. That's part of the deal. He said he's just focusing on players that he knows will be back next year, and giving the freshmen a chance to get some experience. But man, that's not probably the best thing to do against the Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. Again, we had people at the house, and it was turn on the Notre Dame Syracuse game. And by the
Lord.
time people got a slice of pizza and some wings and sat down, it was 21-0.
I swear to you,
Couldn't believe it.
I turned the game on, and it was, I don't know, 28-0 or something. And I turned the game on, and I said, "Oh, this game must be almost over. Where are we?" And it was the first quarter.
6 minutes left in the first quarter.
Like, what? Let's let Manasky update the news here. It's 6:40 at WIBX.
Thank you, Bill. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Right now, raining in 36 degrees. President Trump is keeping up criticism for Democratic lawmakers who told the military to ignore unlawful orders. In a pair of posts on Truth Social this weekend, Trump said those lawmakers should be in jail right now and that it was sedition at its highest level. The president added that many legal scholars agree that Democrat traitors told the military to disobey my orders, end quote. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says talks aimed at ending the war between Russia and Ukraine are making progress. Rubio described Sunday's meeting in Geneva as probably the best so far, adding that he's very optimistic that we can get something done. Trump has given Ukraine until Thursday to agree to the plan, which calls for Kyiv to give up territory to Russia and limit the size of their military. Minnesota's Somali community is concerned after President Trump announced an end to deportation protections. The president posting on Truth Social that he was terminating effective immediately the temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. According to the State Department of Health, over 26,000 Somali refugees have settled in Minnesota since the early 1990s. Overtime was a highlight in the on the NFL slate this weekend. Harrison Butker nailed his fifth and final field goal to give the Chiefs a 23-20 home win over the Colts. Cam Little booted a 52-yarder to help the Jags ground the Cardinals 27-24. And Jahmyr Gibbs scored a near 70-yard rushing touchdown in the first snap of overtime to hand the Lions a 34-27 victory over the Giants from Detroit. And this Thanksgiving holiday season could be the busiest in years. AAA estimates that nearly 82 million people will be traveling over the holidays, which is up 2% from last year. The FAA says it's expecting the busiest Thanksgiving travel season in 15 years. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 6:43. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all of your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information.
Might be a flurry or a sprinkle of rain left over here this morning. Otherwise, clouds mixing with sunshine today. Not too bad of a travel day on this Monday. Low 40s. Tonight near 30, 20s in the mountains. Clouds tomorrow with a chance of rain showers. Rain showers tomorrow night. Chance of showers in upper 50s on Wednesday. Might be snowing here on Thanksgiving Day. I'm meteorologist Ray Stejik at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, raining in 36 at 6:44.
All right, quick break. Much to get to here this morning on this Monday. For a lot of people, this is an all-week vacation. Travel kicked off over the weekend, and you'll see a lot of people doing a lot of traveling, right? And then we can talk about
cooking.
The Mamdani meeting with President Trump.
Yes, let's.
That I mean, looking at some of the videos and some of the outtakes from that is just surreal. I think that's a good word. I like surreal. We'll talk about it coming up at WIBX.
Scott, November is a special month here at New York Sash.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Well, yes, but it's also when we focus on giving back to our veterans.
That's right. New York Sash supports our veterans all year long with our Shower for a Soldier bath makeover giveaway and our veterans discount of 22% off every product.
But this November, we're going even further with Projects for a Purpose.
For every scheduled appointment in our showroom, we'll donate $50 to feed our vets.
So when you stop in for your next home improvement project,
It's the kind of project that truly has a purpose.
and everyone can take advantage of that 22% veterans discount. You don't have to be a vet to show your support.
So stop into the New York Sash Idea and Design Center showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. See all of our products on display, get your questions answered, and schedule your free in-home, no-pressure price quote.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Start your Thanksgiving holiday with the Utica Comets. Gobble down $3 beers with family and friends. The Utica Comets face off against the Syracuse Crunch. Wednesday, November 26th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at uticacomets.com.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, it's Monday, heading into Thanksgiving, heading into December. We'll do 3 days this week and then come back for the month of December. Hard to believe. And in December, we celebrate 100 years here at WIBX.
Yes.
It was 100 years ago on December 5th that this radio station, there were a few variations of it, went on the air. And it was interesting, we've talked about this before, how it was in the very beginning, in the, I got to stop this, in the very beginning, most people didn't have radios.
I know, right?
There was a store that was one store in Utica that was selling them, and people would go out, and it was kind of like
Apple TV,
the birth that we've seen in right.
I don't have Apple TV.
We don't have it. It's kind of like the birth of computers. You know, because I went to school in the high school, junior high, I went elementary, junior high, and made it into high school by the end of the 70s. So during that time period in the early 80s, computers were really new for the most part. The home computer was certainly new. And there was that computer group that it was the nerdy kids, people would call them, and they were all interested in part of, I mean, it wasn't even, I think it was the computer club. It was nothing more than that. And there was like they'd go to like MDS, which was the punch cards were a part of all of those computers back then. So you'd have to put in a punch card, and the computer would read that. I don't know how it worked. All I know is seeing those kids, and it just no one had computers. Nobody had them. And now look at where we are today. And that's kind of like what radio was in the very beginning.
Yes.
In the very beginning, no one had them. Anyway, we'll celebrate.
Could you imagine this?
On the 5th of December.
Davey, turn off your radio. You've got homework to do. You're not going to spend your whole day sitting in front of that radio.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Right. Now it's video games and who knows what. Over the, was it Friday? The president met with the new mayor of New York City.
So this is from The Atlantic, and I wanted to share it. I know there's been some sparring, if you will, post-meeting, but I thought this was a fair description of what went down immediately after the meeting. The White House meeting this is from The Atlantic. White House meeting between New York's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani and President Donald Trump suggests that maybe, just maybe, the U.S. government won't go to war with its largest city. The event was much anticipated as Bloodsport, a showdown between a young communist and an old despot to use their favorite insults for each other. Instead, the two men put on a show of good manners that at times I had to laugh out loud at the stagecraft. After a closed-door meeting, Trump and Mamdani summoned the press, and there was old Uncle Donnie seated behind the desk in the Oval Office, beaming as his favorite nephew, Zorhan, stood right by his shoulder, looking
beaming.
beautiful.
He was beaming.
They both, I couldn't believe the deference that Mamdani was willing to just kind of bow his head and nod. And
well, what I find interesting, though, is Mamdani never backed away from a word that he said. Yeah, I call him a tyrant, but we focused on the things where we agreed, like in public safety. But don't worry about the fact. And Trump at one point is like, go ahead, tell him you called me a tyrant or whatever it was. Who cares? Tell him we had a good meeting. I mean, it was, but I feel, and I may see this a little differently, but Mamdani did what Zelensky should have done, and what other world leaders have learned to do is you got to play up to Donald Trump. And if you start to challenge him, it's going to go ugly. But if you compliment him and you say good things, and this was the biggest key to this meeting, is Mamdani pointed out that many of the people who voted for him, the young people who voted for Trump, also voted for him. Many of those young people who voted for Mamdani voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. We have a common ground, and it's this voting base. And that, to me, was the biggest the biggest common denominator for Trump. And I feel like that's what allowed them to get along.
I think that's an interesting point that you made, and I do feel like the younger generation and the people that the, quote, system doesn't work for are looking for anything to rock the boat, to change the way things work.
Yeah, I think there's your common denominator. However, I do think some of those voters who voted for Trump with all the immigration stuff the numbers have fallen. So when you look at the current numbers right now, it's not as good as it was. A lot of those young voters have moved away from Trump. But if I'm Mamdani, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Election Day. These are the people. We have this group of people, because the further you go around and keep going, all of a sudden you meet on the other side, right? And that's kind of what's happened here. But it was that you're right. Trump was beaming. He's talking, and Trump's looking up at him, smiling as if it is his favorite nephew.
I'll just point out that you see some of this when you talk about at different ends of the political spectrum, and if you keep going, you'll meet up with your biggest opponents. And I think we see this with Israel and Gaza, where the far left was against, the way Israel was handling its response to October 7th, and there was staunch support on the right for Netanyahu. And now you're seeing this infighting with the Republican Party. And I think the big issue is, with whole Tucker and Levin and now Nick Fuentes, who was...
Well, he's an outlier, boy.
But now he's
a Holocaust denier.
He's getting... A lot of the mainstream Republicans now, for instance, on YouTube, are talking about what he's saying because he's now going after Trump. He's going after Trump.
Is their movement, the Tucker Carlson movement, is that anti-Israel?
It's being branded as
Israel's
such.
Going Israel. Here's the problem.
It's being branded that way. I
Here's
wouldn't
the
agree
problem
with it,
where
though.
this has kind of gone off the rails to me. Is that if you all these young people that were marching in the streets, and yes, was there anti-Semitism there? Absolutely, because that gave the bigots a chance to, we've got a movement, we can come in. But the core protest was about policy. It was not about Jews. However, that does spawn anti-Semitism. So that's where that got so muddy. But if you came out against policy, against Netanyahu, then you were an anti-Semite, and that's not fair.
That's right.
And Republicans really criticized that tremendously, especially on college campuses. but now it's within their own party. And it's and you have many who are now to the point where they're and by the way, that peace deal is not only fragile, but there are still bombs flying and threats being made. So but should we have thought we were going to solve a 2,000-year-old issue that no one else has been able to solve? That you're not going to solve that problem. But then this Mandami thing, and even the president and Mandami talking about the fact that Mandami is against Netanyahu's policies and against the war. The two of them talked about that. It was like and then you have the Marjorie Taylor Greene announcement, and she's resigning. This shows you, if you thought for a moment that, because you heard prior to this a lot of the left talking about how it's cracking, and it may very well be, but let me just tell you what isn't cracking. When Trump talks negatively about you and you're a part of the party,
you're the worst of the worst.
You're dead. You are left for dead, and she knew it.
I have to say this though.
He would primary. Did she though?
She won.
There must be something that happened.
I know. I can't.
And I think part of it is that base in Georgia is extremely MAGA, and she was unbelievably popular. But the question is, how popular is she when she not only goes against Trump, but they're having a feud, calling each other names in the media. Who's going to win that fight in her district? He is. And I think this is proof.
I can't disagree with that, but to me it's so bizarre.
She was getting death threats, and maybe that's the reason, but I think he wins that fight.
I was stunned to see it. She took him on head on, and let's be honest, she won that fight. She won that fight.
Imagine this. If she's from here, imagine Claudia Tenney does this. And you take a look.
By the way, she got her house
window broken. I saw that. But imagine if she was doing this and it was happening here. And let's take a MAGA, way out MAGA. Let's take a Jim Zecca, a huge Claudia Tenney fan.
Yeah.
But if Claudia Tenney gets in a fight with Donald Trump and the two of them are calling each other names, where does Jim Zecca go? Does he side with Trump or does he side with Claudia? He totally sides with Donald Trump. And to me, that is her district in Georgia. And she read the tea leaves.
But, okay, she doesn't have to run again. Why does she have to leave early?
I think that is a bad move.
She doesn't want to run again, fine.
That is the worst thing
she's not even finishing her term.
We'll talk more about it coming up. Hold tight. News is coming up next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
Something good just may be happening. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump posted that on Truth Social a short time ago after writing, "Is it really possible that big progress is being made in peace talks between Russia and Ukraine? Don't believe it until you see it." Secretary of State Marco Rubio was part of the negotiations.
I feel very optimistic that we can get something done here because we made a tremendous amount of progress today.
Rubio says the talks with Ukrainian officials in Geneva over the weekend was perhaps the most productive engagement they've ever had on the Ukraine war. He's not declaring victory just yet, but says they're further along than they were. Rubio did not get into what they discussed yesterday. Critics, though, have warned against giving in to Russian demands like handing the Kremlin Ukraine's territory in the eastern Donbass region and ruling out NATO membership for Ukraine.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Israel's gone on the attack in Lebanon with strikes near Beirut that Lebanese officials say killed at least 5 people, among them Hezbollah's chief of staff, after weekend airstrikes in Gaza that left 20 people dead there. Israel calls it retaliation for a Hamas attack, fraying a ceasefire that had stopped the war. In Nigeria, 50 students who were kidnapped Friday got away from their captors.
Parents rushed to St. Mary's School when news broke of the escape in the hope of being reunited with their kids. The student infants were among more than 300 abducted from the Catholic school in Nigeria's Niger state. Some were as young as 6 years old. 12 teachers were also taken hostage. This is the worst mass kidnapping in a recent spate that has forced schools in parts of Nigeria to close.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Ahead of Thanksgiving, some are already traveling.
And a lot of people could see some kind of weather this week. We've got about 2/3 of the country expected to see something, whether it be snow or rain.
Fox Weather's Katie Byrne at Dallas's airport.
According to AAA, nearly 82 million people are expected to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday, which is a record high. And Tuesday is supposed to be the busiest day at the airports.
America's listening to Fox News.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-926-0155. 800-926-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
First Lady Melania Trump gets a special delivery today, the White House Christmas tree.
The First Lady will be joined by the owners of Corson's Tree Farm in Michigan, where the fir was grown and selected to serve as the White House Christmas tree in a National Christmas Tree Association contest. Volunteers will also begin decorating the tree today, a job that will take most of the week. Public tours of the White House, decked out for Christmas, resume next week. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed before this week's trading. An NBA head coach suspended in a gambling scandal is due in court in New York City today, expected to plead not guilty.
Chauncey Billups was arrested last month among 31 people charged in connection with illegal gambling operations linked to pro sports. He's charged with money laundering and wire fraud conspiracy, accused of using his celebrity to help draw players into rigged, high-stakes poker games backed by the mafia. Prosecutors say the games were rigged using technology, including hidden cameras and x-ray equipment, and Billups got a cut of the winnings. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame last year for his NBA playing career. He's on unpaid leave as Trailblazers head coach. His attorney said when charges were announced, Chauncey Billups would not jeopardize his legacy, reputation, and freedom for anything, let alone a card game. Chris Foster, Fox News.
On Sunday Night Football, the Buccaneers got rammed. Los Angeles won their 6th straight game, blowing out Tampa Bay 34-7 after 3 overtime games.
And the kick is good. Kansas City survives.
The Chiefs beat the Indianapolis Colts 23-20 on CBS. Jacksonville topped Arizona also on an OT field goal. The Detroit Lions topped the New York Giants in OT 34-27. The New England Patriots won their 9th straight game. The Baltimore Ravens won their 5th in a row. And rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders led the Cleveland Browns past the Las Vegas Raiders 24-10 in his first career start. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning, Sanders was great, and the son of Hall of Famer Deion has great genes, adding, I told you so. America's listening to Fox News. I'm Davey.
It's raining and 36 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Utica police continue to investigate a motor vehicle pedestrian accident that occurred on Armory Square near the Parkway. Armory Drive, near the Parkway. Upon arrival, they found an elderly male who had been struck by the vehicle, suffering from obvious injuries. He was transported to Wynn Hospital, where he remains in serious but stable condition. The operator of the vehicle was on scene and cooperative throughout the initial investigation. The Utica police say the circumstances surrounding the collision remain under investigation. In Otsego County, the Office of Emergency Services reports a fatal house fire occurred in the village of Cooperstown. Cooperstown fire officials located an elderly female inside the home as they entered for suppression and search operations. Cooperstown fire officials pronounced the occupant deceased at the scene. The identity of the victim is being withheld pending family notification. You don't often hear this in late November, but the Oneida County Sheriff's Office Marine Patrol investigated a property damage boat accident on Oneida Lake after a water rescue was successfully conducted by the Sylvan Beach Fire Department. Authorities say Brad Doherty of Rome was operating an 18-foot boat on the Oneida Lake near the end of the breakwater. He was navigating back to the Erie Canal when he struck submerged rocks. The waves caused his boat to take over the bow and the stern, and the high winds pushed him onto the rocky breakwater where he became hard ground. He had to be taken away by Sylvan Beach Volunteer Fire Department officials. He refused any further treatment, and the investigation is ongoing. With Thanksgiving just days away, police across New York State are doing their part to ensure everyone arrives to and from their destinations safely. Law enforcement cracking down on impaired and reckless drivers through Sunday. They'll address other issues like violations of the Move Over law. During 2024's enforcement period, over 10,000 tickets ended up being handed out. More than 1,700 people were arrested. Anyone who sees suspicious activity or alleged drunk drivers on the road are encouraged to report it immediately. And speaking of being struck by a motor vehicle, a Saratoga County Sheriff's deputy recovering after being hit in the line of duty by an alleged drunk driver. 51-year-old Thomas Fogarty was in Clifton Park Saturday when he allegedly went through a stop sign and crashed into a deputy's vehicle. The deputy needed treatment for an arm injury, and Fogarty ended up being taken into custody where he refused to take a breath test. He was arrested on several charges and later released. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by the Stanley Center for the Arts.
Might be a flurry or a sprinkle of rain left over here this morning. Otherwise, clouds mixing with sunshine today. Not too bad of a travel day on this Monday. Low 40s. Tonight near 30, 20s in the mountains. Clouds tomorrow with a chance of rain showers. Rain showers tomorrow night. Chance of showers in upper 50s on Wednesday. Might be snowing here on Thanksgiving Day. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, raining in 36 at 7:09.
Can I make a Monday Night Football prediction?
Yeah.
The Giants will beat the New England Patriots.
Next week?
1 week from tonight.
Okay. I hope you're right.
So do I. That is, listen, the Giants have been they've been almost in every game, it seems.
I saw a T-shirt over the weekend that I wanted to buy, but it's negative. It's a Giants helmet, and it says we almost always almost win.
Yeah,
we almost always almost win.
That has been the season. But
I'll tell you, those Giants.
A week from tonight, almost will be actually did. I really hope so.
We will see.
Because the Bills are going to need it. I'm going to ask you with sports.
All right, in sports, we say congratulations on a great season, but unfortunately, Whitesboro and New Hartford both came up short in New York State quarterfinal action over the weekend.
And that New Hartford game
was
came
a heartbreaker.
Down to a walk-off field goal.
Yeah. 26-20 the final there. The Whitesboro game was not as close.
I guess it wasn't a walk-off. There were 3 seconds left.
Oh, were there?
There was 3 seconds left. And in fact, I was yelling at the announcer, that's not a walk-off. If it was a walk-off,
there'd be no time.
There'd be no time left. Okay.
Morrisville-Eaton did win their 8-man semifinal game, and they will now play in the state championship. That'll be coming up on Friday. The Utica Pioneers football team hosted its first ever bowl game. Unfortunately, they came up short, losing 26-20 was the final there. I think I just gave that for the New Hartford score, but that was actually the Pioneers score. 26-20 was the final as they lost to Rowan University. The Utica Comets dropped 2 over the weekend. The Utica Pioneers men's hockey team picked up 2 wins. They improved to now 4-4 after a pair of wins against Manhattanville this weekend. I'll leave the recap for the Syracuse game to our man, Uncle Smitty. Some NFL games, 3 went to overtime, including the Chiefs with a come-from-behind 23-20 win over the Colts. Cam Little booted a 52-yarder as the Jags beat the Cardinals 27-24 in overtime. And Jahmyr Gibbs, on the first play of OT, scored on a near 70-yard rushing touchdown. The Lions did beat the Giants 34-27. Giants were up 17-7 in that game. Elsewhere, I'll mention the Jets were crushed. They lost 27-10 to the Baltimore Ravens. For the recap on Syracuse football, we go to our man, Uncle Smitty.
If you're just waking up under a rock, 70-7.
70-7. Oh, Lord.
It's the worst loss in Syracuse football ever, and they've been playing football since the early 1800s.
Yeah, back when they were pink and pea green.
Right.
Before orange and blue. Okay.
And Notre Dame put up the second most points ever in a game.
Okay. One of the things that I think we've made a mistake through history is we never give credit where credit is due when it comes to the game of football, and especially at Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving and football have kind of become somewhat synonymous, right? But when was the last time you heard someone finally give credit to the Pilgrims for creating the game of football?
What?
Oh, yeah. Here's John Caponera. He's a comedian explaining exactly the entire origin of the real origin of the game of football.
Thanksgiving. Love Thanksgiving. Who knew the Pilgrims liked football so much? They were ahead of their time, let me tell you. Pilgrims were the best. Love those little guys. Hats and their buckles and their boots. They were awesome. They had it going on, and they knew it too. Probably sitting around one day going, look at all this land and food and resources. We gotta have a party. Let's have a big bash and give thanks. Invite everybody. Tell the Indians to come on over. What the hell? Once a year ain't gonna kill us. Everybody bring something. Tell the Indians to bring the yams and the corn. We'll get the turkey and the potatoes, the gravy and the broccoli and the string beans, the cranberries and the biscuits and the pumpkin pie. Then we'll get all wasted on whiskey and beer and wine and margaritas. Then we'll skin a pig and toss it around and tackle each other. Maybe it'll turn into something. I don't know. Sounds like a pretty good plan to me. Who knows? It might even become a tradition. And wouldn't you know it? A tradition was born.
Hey, Doc. Nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online, where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagement's middle name.
Hey man, thanks for coming so fast. I couldn't get anyone else to pick up.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm not complaining though. Business is way up lately.
Wow, good for you. I've been trying to grow my accounting practice, but it's been pretty slow.
Yeah, I was in the same boat last year. What really helped me was checking out this site, mylocalcustomers.com.
Never heard of it.
Well, most people haven't. It gives you a look at how many people in town are searching for what you do, and it also provides a plan to help them actually find you.
Like online?
Exactly. It's eye-opening, and it only takes a couple minutes to get started.
Huh, well, you fixed my sink. Maybe you just fixed my business too.
Want to know how many people in your area are searching for your type of business? Start with a local customer analysis at mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com today.
That's mylocalcustomers.com. mylocalcustomers.com.
He digs, he turns, he dives. It is a touchdown!
It is a touchdown!
The NFL is on Westwood One.
Uncorks a deep ball, downfield, into the end zone. A crowd is there, and it is caught! Touchdown! Miraculous!
The NFL plays here all season long on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, portions of the program brought to you by River Hills Properties, and they continue to grow. And there's a new office coming in Rome soon. It's River Hills in upstate New York, with offices in Barneville, Little Falls, in Utica, Copenhagen, and in Newport. And, of course, the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida. They have a full team of agents ready to assist you. River Hills Way, the River Hills Way. Agents ready to assist you in Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. That includes our man, Andrew Derminio. It's a different way of helping people sell homes. It's like adding a team when you sell your home, and it lowers the stress level. It gets everything done, the things that need to be done, and it really assists you when it comes to selling that home. It's River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. Reach out today at 315-896-1009. Property values are up. Who knows what your house could be worth? They can help you with that. Manaski, we have been talking during the break over the one thing that really gets me about this Marjorie Taylor Greene thing. And again, if you were 2 months ago, maybe 3, to say there's going to be a huge fight between Marjorie Taylor Greene and President Trump, they're going to call each other names. She's going to call him a traitor, which she did.
Well, after he called her Marjorie Traitor Greene.
Yes. No, Trump is the traitor, is what she said. And that she's going to resign from office. I would have laughed in your face. I mean, I don't know anyone in the world that could have predicted that.
I'm still stunned by it.
But our debate over and our conversation during the break is, I don't understand why she's stepping down. What a coward move to step down, because you're leaving everything in a real bad way. Because now you're a member down. Johnson is a member down. Do they do a special election? If there's already midterms. If they did a quick special election, there'd have to be another election in November. So I guess you go without. Do you go without? Do you quickly elect?
I think it's an appointment, isn't it?
Is it an appointment?
If somebody steps
down?
down?
I mean, when we were a person short, remember what was happening here? When Stefanik was going to be stepping down, there was going to be an election. Now, maybe I don't think the rules are different, and I think when it comes to congressional seats, I think the rules are U.S. and not individual state, but I could be wrong.
So a comment came in here. He says, you ask why she is leaving early.
I did ask that.
January 1st, 2026 gives her 5 years, and thus she is set. She goes 2 days beyond. Check for yourself. So essentially...
Wait, are you saying that she would be set for her pension?
That's what I think that's in reference to.
Is that true?
I'm checking it right now, but
Doesn't it just not make any sense? Like, is there some, boss that has called her up on the phone and said, listen, you're going to step down on January 5th, or I'm going to kill you and your entire family? So she's leaving out of fear because she knows she has to. I mean, is there some terrible threat that has caused her to say, I'm stepping down? Or is she just quitting? I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I don't understand it.
I don't either, and I wonder if this is reversible, and if people get to her and say, look, you just won this fight with the president, and I know you're taking heat and you're getting death threats.
Her reasoning, she's saying, is she doesn't want to put the party through a primary where she pitted against President Trump, and she wins, and all the other Republicans in Congress lose. during the that was her statement.
But over one issue, it just drives me crazy. Okay, so two things quickly. Her seat will be replaced through a special election in Georgia's 14th congressional district as required by both the Constitution and Georgia state law. That's the first answer. The second answer is...
So they're going to have to do that fast.
Members of Congress are eligible for a pension at 62 if they have completed at least 5 years of service. Members are eligible for a pension at 50 if they have completed 20 years of service or at any age after completing...
Is she?
25. Oh, I can get that for you. I would say late 50s.
She can't be 62.
No, she was born in 74. So that makes her
50 and
51. Wow, she's
yeah,
51. Okay, maybe that blonde hair is real. It's not dyed.
So then she wouldn't get the pension.
Well, not immediately, but when she turns 62, she would.
I see. Okay.
That's wild.
Well,
we just talked about this. So he has a war of words with her. They can never reconcile again?
It was more than one issue. There were several issues that she had.
Well, Israel and Epstein.
But it wasn't just Israel. It was the fact that we're involved in many different. We're very involved in the Ukrainian deal. We're involved now. We have an aircraft carrier off South America and off Venezuela. So I think that she had a lot of issues there. But aren't these things that you guys work out in Washington? You sit down, you fight back and forth, you come out with a smile, and you don't agree. But how does it turn into this? And the Epstein thing, I think, was a biggie because she felt like she was standing up for women.
Meanwhile,
she was standing up for women, I should say.
Trump's quote here on Zohran Mamdani: "We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I feel very confident he can do a very good job." That's Trump on Mamdani. Yet it's irreconcilable with MTG.
Well, she called him names publicly. I think she's crossed a line that it's hard to go back on.
And I have one more comment here, this via the WIBX 950 mobile app. To solve the nickel and dime issue, you define the price after tax instead of before tax. And I don't know exactly what that means because the tax is on what you pay.
End up, right, then you add the tax and it comes up it could come up at 02 or whatever. Or you design it in a way that I don't know. I'd have to do the math on that. The other part of this, who's the last person that came out publicly and called Trump names?
Before MTG?
Yeah. Doge.
They've reconciled, though.
They have, but where is he now? He's on the outs. They may have reconciled, but not. It's nothing like it was. But this, I don't understand why she would just quit. I just don't get it. Remember we talked about that Miss New Mexico in the Miss Universe pageant that got into that was being yelled at by the executive.
Yeah.
She ended up winning the whole thing. She became Miss Universe.
What was he yelling at her for?
He said, "You're a dummy. Don't talk to me. You're a dummy."
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Well, I
could flash back if you want. Here's audio.
Miss Universe is Mexico!
Mexico, you are the man.
I don't think it's
I'm still talking. Listen.
You are not respecting me as a woman.
Security.
Oh, man.
Do you think that played any role in her winning?
Just going to ask that. How long before they crowned the winner did that happen?
Yeah.
You are dummy.
The winner happened over the weekend.
I stopped talking.
Probably a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Robert Plant and his band Saving Grace did one of those tiny desk concerts for NPR. This was really cool. If you got a chance to hear any of it, you're going to. I'm going to play a little piece. They concluded a 25-minute acoustic set with Gallows Pole, and here is part of the audio.
Hangman, up on your face a smile, and tell me that I'm free to ride for many a mile. Ooh, yes, She got a fine sister. She warmed my blood from cold. She warmed my blood from boiling hot. Keep me from the gallows pole.
It's pretty good, isn't it? I got to say,
yeah,
I just am so impressed with how all of these old rockers are still able to perform. He's 77 years old. His voice sounds pretty darn good, doesn't it?
I also wonder if this is the last generation completely committed to making music. You know, they're all in on it. They've played music their whole lives. They're approaching 80. Some band members are still on tour beyond the age of 80, where we're entering this age of AI, and they can create a song and create a hook and all this stuff. And I just wonder if we're going to look back and you go, years ago they used to make music by hand. You had to sing it yourself.
Yeah.
Play the guitar with your fingers.
I would tell you that I think you're absolutely wrong. That'll never happen.
Yeah.
But when I listen to some of this stuff that is AI, if I didn't know it was AI, I would be like, that's really good.
Yeah.
So I do wonder, and probably where we're going to be is AI will assist.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of AI assist going on.
I should clarify, there will still be musicians and people committed to music, but they won't be, like an old pie crust. They won't be making it by hand anymore.
Hopefully
they'll be programming it into a computer.
Hopefully we go through a time where we want to go back to the purity of just a person and their guitar and a microphone, or whatever instrument. Piano, whatever.
Yeah.
Dramatic cop cam video released on Friday. A female deputy was driving home when she came across a man who had crashed on the side of the wooded highway. When she was attempting to assist, he kept approaching her and at one point was trying to get her gun. When she returned to her patrol car, she had been listening to Christmas music on the radio. Another unit just arrived just in time to help her fight the guy, handcuff and arrest him. He's 47-year-old Brian McKay Fleming, a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Boy, this has a lot of moving parts, doesn't it?
It does.
This story, here's audio.
Be advised, he just charged at me, then just ran back into the car. He can't go anywhere. It's missing a wheel. Have a seat for me, sir. If you approach me, you're going to get tased. Get on the ground. Tase not working.
Wow.
Get on the ground. He's trying to get my gun!
Oh, boy.
He's trying to get my gun!
I'm gonna tase you! Okay.
Oh, that taser worked.
Put your hands behind your back.
That one worked. I would keep tasing him. I am so happy this story ended this way.
Oh, boy. I have to tell you, he sounded like my son. My son will be like, Dad, tickle me. And then once I start tickling him, he'll say, stop tickling me. Yeah. Stop.
Yeah. He was trying to grab her gun. What would he have done if he
I was going to say, he's lucky he didn't get shot.
Yeah.
He's really lucky he didn't get shot.
He's very lucky he did not get shot. And Melissa Schlarb, I want to give you this, went into detail recently when an eagle dropped a cat through her windshield last Wednesday.
An eagle dropped a cat through her windshield?
You have to understand.
This story has a lot of moving parts to it.
You think? I got to tell you, you have to understand that these, like a hawk, an eagle, any of these larger birds, they come up and your cat's outside, swoop right down and take your cat.
Small dog? Small child, maybe?
Small child, maybe. A really small one. You got to be careful. Anyway, this is a graphic description, I want to remind you, of what happened to the cat. But I kind of am wondering. Melissa's insurance company told her they would not pay to have her vehicle towed, and she's still trying to get them to replace the windshield because I don't know what. It was an act of an eagle, or I don't understand this story either. But here's audio.
I drive that road every single morning. I did see the bald eagle coming from a distance, and I'm not used to seeing them there. So I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Oh,
I realized it had something with it. Once I realized it was a cat, it barely had a hold on it, and it dropped it right on my windshield. It sounded like a bomb went off. There's glass everywhere. I could see the cat in my passenger seat. I have guts all over me. There's glass everywhere. Thankfully, the cat was dead long before it ever hit my windshield. I could tell its insides were outside. Of course, insurance is a battle, so I'm trying to get them to help me out. She's like, we never hear stories like this. You're going to be the talk of my entire division for quite a while.
Well, I'm assuming the insurance company will help her.
They have to, right? When you said if it's an act of nature, I guess I understand that's an out for some insurance companies, but that would have to apply if you hit a bear or a deer or, I don't know, a possum. I don't know. A skunk. Anything that runs across the road and can damage your vehicle if you hit it. It seems like it would be the same thing if an eagle dropped an animal through your windshield.
I would think. Just like what I went through with a deer.
The insurance didn't say, sorry, it's an act of Mother Nature.
No. A couple of comments. Rick, vote for the pension. And it seems that that's exactly why she's waiting. Had she left a day earlier, she would be shy of her pension.
Okay, I completely agree with that. So the actual date that she will resign, you can make the argument, and it makes sense to me, and I'm not disputing it. She's making sure she gets her full 5 years in. But why is she resigning? If she's made the decision to resign, okay, make sure you get the most out of it. Do your 5 years.
Out your term and say, I'm not running.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've announced I will not be campaigning again. And what? She'll be up?
She's not running for president. Somebody asked her that.
She'd only have another, 11 months till the next election, and she could go.
Well, she'd have 13 months to conclude.
But I'm saying if she's leaving in January, she would have to stay till January.
Well, if she stayed, she'd have to stay for 13 months. I mean, you could do what everybody else does in Congress. Just don't do anything. Just hang out.
Yeah.
Right? Donna this morning says,
free lunch.
I love I love the roundup to charity concept, talking about the nickels and dimes and pennies. I think everyone should all do that. So a lot of them will say, would you like to round up your change and donate that to charity? Thank you for that, Donna. Hold on, I've got one more. This is somewhere. Here it is. Go ahead.
Dispute I have with that, and it's a good idea. And if it's a couple pennies here and a couple pennies there, obviously I get it. It adds up, right? People brought in $200,000 worth of pennies just from this community.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. So the pennies add up. I would say this though. The knock against that is, and I understand somebody has to oversee these programs, but every time you give a nickel or a dime or a dollar, what percentage of that goes to some executive director, CEOs, or whatever? Salary.
Not at Real Men Get Tested. We make no money. Not at Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. We make no money. Reminds me, Mike says, of that "Don't Tase Me, Bro" video.
Yes, exactly. I was waiting to hear it. When she was saying the taser's not working, you just kept hearing a click and nothing.
Don't
but
tase
once
me,
the
bro.
other cop showed up,
That one worked. Mike says Trump is falling into the same trap that Biden did regarding cost of goods, telling people things are cheaper when in fact they aren't for the everyday people. He's going to end up being a lame duck president before the midterms even come. I think he spent too much time dreaming about getting that Nobel Peace Prize. That is Mike. And then I bring in Joseph P. Load, who is on the line right now. Joe, good morning.
Mr. Joe.
Hey, good morning, Bill. How are you guys? I hope you had a great weekend. I wanted to talk a little bit about firearms and purchasing firearms and ammunition in New York State, which, was the first time for me since the old days of Gander Mountain.
Okay.
So I went to Bass Pro Shop. They had a firearm I was really interested in that I had originally placed an order with Remington when they were still in business, and the order got canceled because of the whole leaving the area. And Marlin, they dropped the Marlin line, and Marlin is now made by Ruger. So I didn't get the gun that I wanted. So I go to Bass Pro. I check into the queue because there's a waiting system. It's almost like going to the meat market and grabbing one of those tags.
Okay.
And you got to wait your turn. So I wait my turn. Not only am I being now checked federally for a firearm, but on the state level as well. And then again on a state level for ammunition. Why I'm being checked for ammunition As long as I could get a firearm is beyond me. I think that's it's ridiculous. If I pass federal and I pass state, why do I also have to pass for the ammunition?
Yeah.
I'm passing for the firearm, right? So then I find out at the cash register when all this is said and done, 2.5 hours later, 2.5 hours
Wow.
to actually get checked. And some people are sent away and told, we'll call you if it goes through, because the state police are now checking people for backgrounds, and this is what's overwhelming the system. There's not enough people to check because of how many sales there are in firearms that it's taking so long. Okay,
Yeah.
so I get that. I'm patient. I walk around the store. I buy a new pair of shoes, whatever.
Which may be part of the which may be part of
the
the
delay.
whole- yeah.
It could be. It could be
While we
too.
run this,
It's like going
why
to
don't you go check out our
It's like
polls over
going-
there?
There used to be a thing at the pharmacy where you couldn't, if you went to like a pharmacy that was also a store, that their policy was, and I know the pharmacist told me that this was true, is this individual store's policy was you have to wait 20 minutes even if it was ready. They don't tell you that because they want you to walk around the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good retail pitch, but I get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get to the cash register to ring out for my firearm, my ammunition, and also a $9 charge for checking my background, and a $2.50 charge for checking my background for ammunition, for a total of $11.50. That goes to who? The state.
Right.
So my question is, how many firearms are being sold now, and now we're paying for a background check? Well, wait a minute. You're the one that told me I need the background check to get the firearm. So now this is just another scam for New York State, so we could pay for, whatever fund that they need money for, that we have to pay to get our own background checked?
I'm torn on this, to be honest with you.
Well, because remember, when you talk about the state, you're really talking about us, and otherwise we would be paying, taxpayers would be paying for your background check.
That's why I'm torn.
Yeah.
That was never a problem before, Bill.
I understand that. I'm just saying that's probably the reason for it. I don't know.
Where does the money go? I want to see an account. It's
Yeah.
almost like, the state lottery was supposed to pay for schools and funds for schools, but our school taxes keep going up, which is a mystery because we have more money spent on lottery tickets now than we ever have.
Well, the lottery money, a lot of the lottery money does go to schools. I don't know what it does for schools necessarily, but it's not going to schools to lower your taxes. That's it's
for
not
damn
going to
sure.
do.
That's for damn sure.
You know
That
what I get mad is I go to Stewart's, I win one of those lottery tickets, and the guy at the counter starts yelling, "Give it back! Give it back!" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
It's not a stag party. That's why you only buy the raffle tickets.
Listen, we used to send my daughter up to, if we ever wanted the Little League game or something, I'd send my daughter up to get it. Like, we would just kind of hunch down a little bit.
That's funny.
great.
Otherwise, you're giving it right back to them. Damn it. Okay, Joe.
And one more thing on that.
I don't know. I didn't know. I thought you had to do all this for a handgun, but I didn't know you had to do this for
a long gun,
a rifle,
really?
Or a shotgun.
What's that? I'm sorry, I lost.
What were you buying? What gun were you? Was it a
It was
handgun?
it was a
rifle.
No, it was a lever action.
I didn't
It was
know.
a rifle.
I
Yep.
didn't know you had to go through all this to get a rifle. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, and Bill, here's the best part: you can't buy a semi-automatic 22 without a pistol permit, or any semi-auto rifle for that matter. But a 22, a nylon 66 antique, from Remington.
Yeah.
God forbid you saw one used in a store. You couldn't buy it if you didn't have a pistol permit.
Yeah.
What does having a pistol permit have to do with buying a long gun? Absolutely
Well,
nothing.
and here is the other part of this that you sadly, the other part of this is while it may impede someone from, I don't know, committing suicide with a gun, somebody from in a domestic violence situation, I guess. But the reality is, how many criminals are standing in line waiting at Bass Pro Shop, waiting that 2 hours to have their background check and all? They're not, because they're getting their guns off the street. The people that are waiting are the law-abiding citizens that are already following the laws. So, which is, I don't know what this does to make us any safer.
Joe, before we let you go, Steve Houck, as a matter of fact, former UPD, sent in a message. He says, why was he charged for 2 background checks in the same transaction? Did they do 2 different ones first, the gun and then the ammo? He rhetorically asked no. So he doesn't think he should have been charged for 2 either. And it's curious that one is $9 and one is $250.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's not like you could buy the gun and not the ammo. Or if you had a permit that you couldn't buy ammo, right? Unless you've gotten some type of a felony offense since then. I don't understand that.
Right. You need the ammo to shoot the gun, and if you're approved for the gun, then you shouldn't have to worry about the ammo.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Maybe we'll get somebody.
And every time you go in, let's say I went out to the parking lot. Oh, my God, I forgot to get those shotgun shells. Go back in, it's another $250 is what they told me.
Stop.
I swear to God. I'm not making this
Every
up.
time you go in to buy, they have to do this? You have to do this?
Yes, every single time you go in to buy ammo, you have to have a background check done, which costs $2.50. And this is why Pennsylvania is so close to us. We could get our gas stoves and our ammunition all at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Joe. Thank you. Before long, they're going to be charging you for your background check when you buy your Sudafed at the pharmacy, right? You're not charged for that. Okay, Joe, thank you.
Bill, I have to ask again, when we say a pistol permit, I envision it like a card, like a driver's license, something you get that you can show that they can just scan it. For instance, if I go to the store to buy cigarettes and they say, can I have your ID? They have something out and they scan it. If my license is invalid or expired, it says expired or invalid.
Carol, this morning, she is a school teacher. She said, I will think about the plight of Joe's firearm purchase as I do a lockdown drill at school today. It's a crazy world we're in right now. Wayne, quickly before I break it, then I'm doing the free money question. Hello, Wayne.
Hi, Bill. Hi, guys. With someone like Jolo, do they do a mental background check?
I don't think that's done. I don't know what they're doing in the background check.
So skip all that, but get $2.50 extra for the bullet.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Well, and I wonder where that money goes. Is it the money? Does the money go to the store because their
resources are being used,
right? Or do they just have to kick that back to the state? I don't know the answer.
It's a pizza party money thing.
Maybe that too. So, but here's what I want to. Thank you, Wayne. Here's what I do want to do with this, Davey. Is I'd love to get somebody on who can explain what all of this stuff does and where all the money goes, and then get maybe like a gun safety person on that's a Second Amendment person that can kind of give that take, and so that we know exactly what is going on. So work on that, Davey. That'll be good. Let's do a Bicus free money question of the day. Today, it is worth, in this short week, $185. Thank you, Davey. And you're looking for caller number what this morning? 5. He's not speaking. He's giving me sign language this morning. 5th caller right now at 315-736-0186. Hobica's free money question of the day worth $185. We'll take caller 5 right now at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
This station is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
Might be a flurry or a sprinkle of rain left over here this morning. Otherwise, clouds mixing with sunshine today. Not too bad of a travel day on this Monday. Low 40s. Tonight near 30, 20s in the mountains. Clouds tomorrow with a chance of rain showers. Rain showers tomorrow night. Chance of showers in upper 50s on Wednesday. Might be snowing here on Thanksgiving Day. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick at the Weather Channel. WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Whatever you need to haul, landscaping tools, heavy construction gear, or even livestock, Clinton Tractor has the trailer for the job. Choose steel, aluminum, or galvanized frames from 500 pounds to 55 tons with trusted names like B-Wise, Eager Beaver, and EB. For trailers, parts, and service you can count on, visit the Caledona family at Clinton Tractor.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Honey, what is this?
Well, you said you wanted a cocktail, but all of our bottles were pretty low. So I just mixed them all together with ice in the shaker, and voila! I call it the Desperado. What do you think?
Well, you nailed the name. It tastes like desperation in a glass.
No good?
Oh, honey, we need Breamers. Fast.
I really don't want to run out right now.
You don't have to. Anyone can get Breamers delivered right away with DoorDash or Instacart.
Even just one bottle?
Yep, but we live close enough and we want to stock up, so we can order direct at BreamersWineandLiquor.com. Ooh, we can get free delivery with our first order on their mobile app.
So many delivery options. Talk about convenience, huh?
Bremer's Wine and Liquor, Commercial Drive, New Hartford. Delivering the biggest selection, the lowest prices, and the ultimate in convenience.
Okay, try this.
Now that's more like it. What do you call this one?
The Bremer's Breeze, because delivery from Bremer's makes it
a breeze.
Yeah.
Nailed the name again.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Medicare Part D open enrollment is now through December 7th. It can be confusing to compare plan coverages, premiums, and deductibles all on your own. Looking for an easier way? Go to KinneyDrugs.com for a free online tool that helps you compare plans based on your specific prescriptions. Or call 844-653-5063 to compare plans and enroll right over the phone. Ask your Kinney pharmacist or visit KinneyDrugs.com.
The 2026 Seize the Deal golf cart is back, and it's about to make you the coolest gift giver this holiday season. For only $75, you get 15 rounds of golf, at some of the area's top courses. 15 rounds, $75. Playing favorite courses like Delton Knolls Golf Center, Little Falls Municipal Golf Course, and Golf Club of Newport, plus plenty more. But heads up, when they're gone, they're gone. So get your 2026 Seize the Deal golf card now at seizethedeal.com or log into this station's website.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Coming up, we're gonna hit the category. You asked for it, and we're digging in on it right now. We're going to speak with the Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority in a second in regards to the problems that are being had in the city of Utica with garbage pickup. And it almost seems like the same troubles that they had in Rome a while back, right? Doesn't it? Just a little bit? I guess it kind of does. We'll speak with Joshua Olbrey, who's the executive director of the Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority, coming up in a second. First, though, let's do Hobeika's free money question of the day. It comes from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. For all of your legal needs, call 315-724-1600. 315-724-1600 is the number, and on the line is Rick in Utica. Hello, Rick. Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
Is your garbage being picked up on time?
You know, it's funny. I do live in South Utica. The recyclables are like 2-3 in the afternoon now, and I did see one of the gentlemen veer off course and take a leak behind our neighborhood garage.
Okay, I'm so glad you're the caller. Really?
Honest to God.
Well, you gotta go, right?
When nature calls.
Yeah. Okay.
You better answer it.
Well, that's not
in my backyard.
Yeah, not in my backyard.
Yes,
I
NIMBY.
completely am with you.
NIMBY.
Okay, here is your question. You have 7 seconds to answer the question. Are you ready for this?
Absolutely.
All right. Eliphalet Remington started the business that made Remington guns. Who started the business that made Remington typewriters? Ready, go.
Oh, God, Mr. IBM. I don't know.
This is a tricky question.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. I really am, Rick. Eliphalet Remington started the business that made Remington guns. Who started the business who made Remington typewriters? Who started the business which made Remington typewriters? And Manansky, your guess is?
It's where our friend from Herkimer County did the basketball stuff. The building that he bought. He does.
No. It's so much easier.
No.
Eliphalet Remington started a business that made Remington guns and typewriters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all those Remington products came out of Ilion in the very beginning. But then they spun off everything that didn't have to do with guns, and ultimately that became Remington Rand, which you'll recall was in operation for many years. Okay, that's my little history lesson for the day, Rick. And I know it's not amusing for you.
What was the answer to the question?
Exactly.
The same guy?
It's the same guy.
Eliphalet Remington, same guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, you're stupid to new lows.
I apologize. I greatly apologize.
Put Davey on the phone. I'm done with you.
That's right. It's over.
Goodbye.
We will give you the all-in-one food and fun card. Stand by. Davey has you.
That's all I call for, the ice cream.
Okay. Well, you've got $25 worth. So stand by. Davey has you taken care of.
All he's got to do is call Bill a traitor right now, and Bill will resign at the end of the year.
That's exactly right.
I'm done with you.
I won't be done until January 5th. That's when I'm quitting. All right. Wow. Isn't it interesting? Our caller, who's playing for the contest, has a story about the garbage pickup, and it involves going behind somebody's garage and urinating. Oh, boy.
I have to ask.
On the line right now is Joshua Olbrey. He's the executive director of the Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority. Josh, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Are you asking?
No, I was going to ask about what your take was on the when you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah. What are your,
as a guy who used to do deliveries, there were a couple of times where it's like, Well, I'm either going to wear it or we're going to pull off on the side of the road here. Don't have much of a choice.
What do you want to comment on that, Joshua?
Well, I mean, I think we need to be respectful of the residents we're picking up, and try to hold it or time our brakes a little better.
Can I ask you? People are complaining in Utica. Sure. CWSI, isn't that the same company that Rome had a problem with?
It was, yes, it was. And in CWSI, they've been doing the city of Utica, I believe, since 2016 or 17.
Okay.
So it's not a new contractor. They've been doing the city for a little while.
What's going on? I mean, is it it's hard to find employees, or?
Yeah, the driving force is employees, primarily CDL drivers. With the competition out there nowadays, especially for licensed truck drivers, and with New York State's regulations making it difficult to get your commercial license, it's made it hard. And let's face it, garbage is, with how competitive the job market is, there's not people knocking down the doors to pick up your trash. So it's mainly manpower. But we've been working with the contractor to help them with a couple things. They're getting a little bit creative on some ways to help.
Yeah.
But it's, I think it's in the last week, it's gotten a lot better. 3 weeks ago, they had about 2 to 3 trucks. Now they're up to 4 to 5, on the streets. So it's getting better. They've got some new trucks where they're a smaller truck where you don't need a CDL driver due to the weight. So it'll open up the field a little bit for applicants, more employees.
All right, so it's really down to the number of employees that they have. So what are they doing? They're splitting up. So they split runs. They only do the garbage in the morning and then the recyclables later in the day.
Yeah, they used to do them at the same time.
Yeah.
But when they got light on bodies, then they started to pick up the garbage first, and then slowly switch over to recycling.
So I'm assuming in Utica, they don't use the bins.
Correct. It's a pay-as-you-throw city. They have city bags that they purchase.
Okay. Because the bins are, they're really, the whole system's automated now. It's usually one person in the truck, and the fork comes out and lifts it and does the work for them. So that has helped.
And Bill, the tough thing about the city of Utica is, what you can put out. For some,
it's so much.
It's you can put 2 tires, a cubic yard of C&D, a couch.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of material you can put out.
So I want to follow up on that. We were just talking about New York State fees and things with the firearms issue. Obviously, this is not related to firearms, but it says here, as a reminder to residents, tires and scrap metal are picked up after waste and recycling is collected. I thought there was a $5 disposal fee for every tire that was discarded in New York State.
No. There is when you buy the tires. They usually put the fee on there.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I think it's when you buy the tire.
Okay.
They put it on there.
Okay, maybe it is.
We don't pay the fee on the disposal side.
All right. So you are saying, though, that it is being worked on. They're trying to come up with clever ways to hire people, and you're aware of the issue, and
we're in communication quite a bit. And we're also in we've been in communication with the mayor. He's been fantastic. I will tell residents, if there's an issue, please call our office.
Okay.
We can address it with them, with the haulers directly. We got inspectors on staff that kind of chase after them.
Okay.
So if we've got issues, we have ways of, going after and making sure that we're getting compliant.
All right. Okay, Josh, we appreciate the update this morning. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
All right. Have a great day.
All right, bye.
The recyclables aren't being picked up until well later in the afternoon in Utica. But you can leave out tires and scrap metal and all that. That's crazy. I can't do that.
Neither can I.
Quick break. We'll do news top of the hour on this Monday morning at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
Don't believe it till you see it. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump posted on Truth Social about the reported progress on a peace plan to stop the war in Ukraine. But Democratic Senator Mark Warner tells Fox News Sunday.
This initial plan would be a total capitulation by Ukraine. I think it would go down, frankly, as a historically bad deal.
But Secretary of State Marco Rubio disagrees and said after talks in Geneva yesterday.
I think this is a very, very meaningful, I would say probably best meeting and day we've had so far in this entire process, going back to when we first came into office in January.
A joint statement says there's now a refined peace framework after yesterday's talks. Rubio says they're working from an earlier document that the U.S. put together weeks ago with input from Russia and Ukraine, and that's notable after a bipartisan group of lawmakers said this was not a U.S. proposal and warned against giving in to Russian demands.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera at the White House. President Trump hopes to get Ukraine to agree by Thanksgiving, as a ceasefire deal he brokered for Gaza remains strained. Israeli airstrikes over the weekend killed 20 people after claiming Hamas breached the truce.
There's meant to be a ceasefire, too, between Israel and the Lebanon-based group Hezbollah. Israel, though, killed a senior member of that organization and several other people in an airstrike on a southern suburb of Beirut. Israeli officials say the militants are trying to rebuild their capabilities. Hezbollah accusing Israel of crossing a red line.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. In Nigeria, 50 of the kids kidnapped Friday from a Catholic school have escaped, but 253 other children and 12 teachers still being held captive. A reggae music legend has died, Jimmy Cliff. His cover of that song was Jimmy Cliff's best charting song in the U.S. from the Cool Runnings soundtrack. An icon in Jamaica, Jimmy Cliff is also a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. He died at the age of 81. America's listening to Fox News.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-926-0155. 800-926-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
As the U.S. military continues an operation off the Venezuelan coast targeting illegal drug traffickers with more than 20 strikes blowing up boats, killing dozens of alleged narco-terrorists, several airlines have canceled flights to and from Venezuela. The operation also led to a controversy. 6 Democrats posted a video that angered President Trump, urging members of the military to consider refusing to carry out orders that are unconstitutional.
All 6 Democrats, 2 Senate and 4 House members have been called traitors by President Trump, who said on social media their actions are punishable by death. Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin said she's concerned about troops in cities, but she also believes
there are some legal gymnastics that are going on with these Caribbean strikes and everything related to Venezuela.
Republican Congressman Michael McCall of Texas said he doesn't think there's anything illegal about the operations on Venezuelan ships.
To stop a threat, in this case, the threat of drugs, coming into our country and killing Americans.
Both were on ABC's This Week. The White House said the president was not seeking to have those Democrats put to death. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
There was a manhunt for an escapee over the weekend, someone who became infamous over a decade ago.
A Wisconsin woman convicted in the so-called Slender Man stabbing has been captured after going missing. Police say 23-year-old Morgan Geyser was found near a Chicago area truck stop about 24 hours after leaving an Illinois group home. Geyser was just 12 when she and a friend stabbed a classmate more than a dozen times to please a fictional horror character. The victim survived.
That's Fox's Marianne Rafferty. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising before a lighter Thanksgiving trading week. There's a new #1 movie.
It's more important than ever that you lift everyone's spirits.
Wicked for Good had a huge weekend, topping the box office with a $150 million opening, more than the original. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 37 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Utica police continue to investigate a motor vehicle pedestrian accident that happened on Armory Drive near the Parkway. Arriving officers say they located an elderly man who had been struck by the vehicle. He was suffering from obvious injuries, transported to Wynn Hospital, where he remains in serious but stable condition. And officers say the operator of the vehicle was on scene and was cooperative throughout the initial investigation. We just discussed it a moment ago. The Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority is notifying city residents in Utica of ongoing delays in curbside waste collection. Over the last several weeks, collection schedules have been disrupted due to staffing shortages, with the current contractor and waste hauler struggling to hire new employees to meet service demands. The authority says it is working closely with CWSI, Controlled Waste Systems Incorporated, to mitigate those service interruptions and restore regular collection as soon as possible. If you have questions, concerns, or specific collection issues, you're encouraged to contact the Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority directly. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, a couple of days away, and police across the state are doing their part to ensure that everyone arrives to and from their destination safely. Law enforcement cracking down on impaired and reckless drivers through Sunday. They'll address other issues like violations of the Move Over law. During 2024's enforcement period, over 10,000 tickets were issued statewide and more than 1,700 people arrested. Anyone who sees suspicious activity on the roads is encouraged to report it immediately. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news times coming up on 8:08. Your weather center forecast, some up and down in the temperatures. We'll get to that in a second. Your forecast brought to you by John's Mobile Home, parts and accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all of your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information.
Might be a flurry or a sprinkle of rain left over here this morning. Otherwise, clouds mixing with sunshine today. Not too bad of a travel day on this Monday. Low 40s. Tonight near 30, 20s in the mountains. Clouds tomorrow with a chance of rain showers. Rain showers tomorrow night. Chance of showers at upper 50s on Wednesday. Might be snowing here on Thanksgiving Day. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies, 37 degrees at 8:08. All right, from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, great seasons, but unfortunately they came to an end this weekend for both New Hartford and Whitesboro as they played in state quarterfinal action. In state semifinal action in the 8-man tournament, Morrisville-Eaton picks up another win, and they advance to the state title game. They will play that coming up on Friday. The Utica Pioneers football team hosted its first ever bowl game, and their come-from-behind effort came up short, 26-20, as they lost to Rowan University. But again, a great season for the Pioneers. And the Pioneers men's hockey team bounced back with 2 more wins over Manhattanville on Friday and Saturday. The Pioneers now pull even at 4-4 on the season. The Comets dropped 2 in the NFL. The Giants had a lead for much of the game against the Detroit Lions. They lost in overtime, though, 34-27. The Jets were grounded in Baltimore, losing 23-10. Tyrod Taylor starting for Gang Green, 222 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. A couple of other overtime games as well in the NFL. The Chiefs came back to beat the Colts 23-20, and the Jacksonville Jaguars get by the Arizona Cardinals in overtime as well. Coming up tonight, Monday Night Football, a game you can hear right here on WIBX. And we'll go to Smitty for this one because I've lost my copy. Who do we have playing tonight?
It's the 49ers and the Carolina Panthers, Jeff.
49ers and Carolina Panthers. Our coverage of the game begins at 7:30 tonight.
7.
7?
Yeah, they do an hour-long pregame show now.
Holy Toledo. And then we'll have the Thanksgiving triple header as well on Thursday.
Yep.
Coverage begins at
12:30.
And then we'll have the Friday game, the Black Friday game as well.
Yeah, that begins at 2:30.
Syracuse basketball plays tonight. They'll play number 2 Houston. We won't mention the Syracuse football game on Saturday. We cut them up quite a bit in the first couple hours of the show.
I got to say, I'm very...
we will mention the Syracuse football game from this weekend. Go ahead,
Well,
Bill.
I'm very interested to see the basketball game. The football game...
I have to tell you...
70-7. What was the final? Is that what it was?
70-7, yeah.
Oh,
to be honest, I was rooting for triple digits.
I was, too.
You know the record, I think, is 122 points. It happened
Wow.
over 100 years ago, but I think the record's 122 points in a college football game by one team.
This was just horrible, though. I mean, it was...
Like I said, we had something for my son. It was his birthday. So we just had the family over, and we had some pizza. I made some delicious chicken wings. We had all this stuff, and there was a small line. Everyone got their food and sat down. We turned on the game and went... All right, who else is playing today?
Yeah,
it was 28-0, like 7 minutes into the game.
Very fast.
Oh, my goodness.
Not good.
The food wasn't even cold yet.
Yeah, but tonight's game, I think, is going to be very interesting to see what does Syracuse have? What is this basketball team made of here?
Somebody that I was hanging out with on Saturday told me, Dave, don't be surprised if Syracuse only scores 40.
You think it's going to be that bad?
Houston can dominate the big man and can shoot. That's
Okay.
all I'm going to say. Why would you be the number 2 ranked team in the nation?
Here's the problem with that.
And they were in the championship game, championship Final Four last year for the Final Four, Bill.
I understand. Don't scold me.
I'm not scolded anybody.
I understand. What I'm just saying is we haven't seen Syracuse play anybody worth anything yet.
You are
right. It's
right.
going to be interesting to see how they play against a good team.
And let me tell you something. And if they knock off Houston and then they knock off Kansas, they deserve a vote in the top 20, at least a 20, or even 25. Between 25 and 20, they deserve to be in the poll.
Listen, if they knock off those two teams, they should be between 10 and 20.
I agree.
They should be like 15. Because these preseason polls are worth nothing.
Right.
Nobody's playing anybody right now.
Here's my question, and we'll find out the answer tonight, of course. Does Syracuse basketball tonight score more or less than Notre Dame put on the football team?
I think less.
Less.
That's insane.
I know.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And will Boston
70?
And will this Syracuse team come prepared and play Boston College, who's only got one win? Boston College has beat Syracuse 3 years in a row.
And football?
Yes.
Well, how do you think this game's going to go?
And it's at 3:00. It's at the Dome. Last game of the season.
Yeah, this is.
Do you think the crowd's going to be like 4,500?
This can't end soon enough. This season, and I get it how everybody just kind of has given up, but at some point you gotta play for
pride or something
a little bit. I mean, this isn't a quarterback problem. Saturday wasn't a quarterback problem. They gave up 70 points.
It's all-around problem.
I was going to say, so Fran Brown, after the Penn State firing, everyone was, Fran Brown, he's going to – there was a lot of speculation Fran Brown was going to be at least offered a position with why can't I think?
He's Penn State.
With Penn State.
He's still running. His name is still floating around for two –
after these last 4 games, I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah. Arkansas and Auburn.
He had such a good year last year. But again, it shows you the
quarterback is what made it last year.
Shows you the importance of a quarterback.
Yeah, well, as it was pointed out to me at that party I just mentioned, you don't give up 70 points because your quarterback's hurt. You give up 70 points because your defense is not playing well.
Correct. That's true. However, go back to that Clemson game. I mean,
that was their national championship game.
Syracuse just dominated them offensively and defensively, and that team no longer exists. With one player gone, everything fell to pieces.
Let me ask you two a question. If Steve Angeli didn't go down in that game against Clemson, do you think Syracuse would be bowl contending right now?
I think they would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I get it. I made that statement. I understand if you have a good offense, your defense is on the field less, but that's a lot of points.
But Steve Angeli, according to Fran Brown, is going to be coming back, and he has 2 years of eligibility left.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
You want comments now or after the
Let's
break?
do quickies, and then I want to bring in John Swan.
All right, so Rocky says this is regarding MTG, Marjorie Trader Greene, as the president was calling her. Greene has cited the fact that she's been receiving a large amount of terrifying death threats as the major reason for retiring. Trump repeatedly called her a traitor, which led to those threats. Can't we step up security for her? I mean,
I think that the threats also came from the fact that you just have when she was out really criticizing the president. And as I said, we talked about this earlier. I think that is the Trump's hold on her. Just call it her district. Trump's hold on her district is stronger than her hold on her district.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Lance and Lee has a comment as well. We're talking about this issue with the Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority sending a release out talking about some delayed or disrupted trash pickups in the city of Utica. We talked about this being an issue in the city of Rome 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe more than that. But anyway, Lance and Lee says if Jackie Izzo had changed garbage companies, she would still be mayor. Any thoughts on that?
You know that I worked on that campaign, and there were people, including myself, who felt that something had to be done about the garbage issue, that was going to be a real problem. And but I will tell you this about Jackie. She refused. She felt that she was making progress with them, and felt that a disruption would actually make things worse
if they change companies.
But felt that the right thing to do. This is the debate that we had. That the right thing to do was not to use something like this as a political chess piece and do it just to get votes. She felt that if there wasn't an election, she would not fire them, that she would have worked with them to get them better. And why would she change that policy just because there's an election coming up? I think that was a pretty honorable move on her part.
Agree.
She refused to do it because it would have been a political move, not a move that she would have made normally as mayor. So take that for what it is. I think she's, and it may have been what cost her. That may very well have been it.
You agree with Lance?
I may agree with Lance.
Boy, on the weekend when Trump and Mamdani sit down, Keeler and Lance are maybe agreeing on something here.
Hard to believe. All right, quick break, 8:17. Coming up, he is an author and former radio and television. He was in the management. He was on air. He's done everything. Also has done some great things working with some nonprofits and worked here at WIBX.
And he's an author, too.
And did I say he was an author?
Did you?
I think I did. And we'll talk about our 100th anniversary and some of his memories with John Swan coming right up at WIBX.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At Hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Start your collectible coin journey today with the first ever Seuss coin. Hip, hip, hooray! The Grinch is here for all to see. DrSeussCoins.com kicks off your collecting spree. Now, for the first time ever, Rare Collectibles TV has licensed Dr. Seuss's beloved creations, making them come to life on collectible, adorable coins. Don't wait, or you'll be too late. Get yours today before they're gone forever. Only 5,000 examples have been minted. Each Grinch coin is made from 1 ounce of pure .999 fine silver and is in perfect condition. Give the gift of wonder and enchantment to your kids or your grandkids. Just go to DrSeussCoins.com to start this whimsical coin journey today with the limited edition Silver Grinch coin. That's DrSeussCoins.com, DrSeussCoins.com.
Brian Radke here from Westwood One. The primetime spotlight of Monday Night Football this week falls on the Bay Area when the 7-4 49ers host the 6-5 Panthers. Ryan Fitzpatrick will join me in the booth for the call as both teams look to build on wins from last week. Join us for an NFC showdown between the Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football.
The NFL plays here all season long on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hi, Billy Mays here with the brand new Keeler Kill Switch. When that morning show starts yapping about something you can't stand, don't reach for the dial. Just press this big red button and BAM!
This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
And portions of the program brought to you by the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. The Falcon Clinic continuing to accept new patients. That is expected sometime at the end of the year, they say. They had such a very large influx of new patients over the year that they have given a pause to that, and they're actually bringing in a new provider. When that is in place, which is expected sometime in December or January, they will once again accept new patients. And I have to say that I take advantage of their OMT. It's the osteopathic manipulation treatment. You can just book it. You don't need a referral done by either Dr. Shemaleski or Dr. Zielinski, and it is really just make sure everything is flowing properly. It's kind of like going to a chiropractor, but it's extensive and it lasts for about 30 minutes or so. Well worth it, and I highly recommend it. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, 315-507-4751. John Swan author John Swan in studio here this morning. Good morning.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Jeff.
So let's talk about the book first, and then we'll talk a little old times.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, first of all, your books you have a theme that you follow.
I do have a theme. This is a series. This is a revival of a character that might be familiar to many of your listeners, if not all. Charlie Chan, the Chinese detective from Honolulu, who was in dozens of films in the 1930s and 40s. But he began 100 years ago this year, just like WIBX.
Interesting.
First appearance in print was in the pages of the Saturday Evening Post, and then that serial was mushed together into a book.
Yeah.
The first book came out 100 years ago by an author called Earl Biggers, and my series is a continuation of Biggers' original series of 6 Chan books.
Okay,
right?
cool.
And the one that's out now is the third in my series.
All right, nice.
I don't want to knock us off track and get into political stuff, but if Charlie Chan was from Honolulu, wouldn't he be American?
Well, it's interesting. He's in Biggers' view of Chan. He's the creator, and he was based on a real person in Honolulu who was on the police force who was of Chinese heritage. But the Chan character is born in China.
Gotcha.
And has come to Honolulu, which was, Hawaii was then a territory.
It was a territory. It was
right?
not
even
a
a
state
state
until the 50s.
But lived
Late
much
50s.
of his life in Honolulu. So it is correct to say he would be a Chinese American or a Chinese Hawaiian American.
I just figured with the climate today, and we talk about so much where somebody from and where their home actually is, I just wanted to throw that in there
and
just
that's
to disrupt the conversation.
Well, no, you know what? That's actually on point because Chan, and this is one of the interesting things about, detectives all have their quirks. Sherlock Holmes took cocaine, and on and on and on. But Chan feels torn between his ancestry and his Chinese-ness and the fact that he works in an American environment. He feels torn between East and West, and that's something that Biggers, had as a theme throughout the book and something that I also have employed. So, it's a good point.
Interesting.
And I think that we've changed. Remember, this would have been the early 1900s when this was first written.
Biggers wrote from 1925 to 1933.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I say he wrote the Chan series in those years. He was a playwright. He was a guy from the Midwest, went to Harvard, and had a lot of success as a writer, Broadway productions and earlier novels before he did this.
But I got to say, during that time period, the Chinese were very much stuff that wouldn't be appropriate today. Very much parodied. Very much like the American Indians.
Well, and out and out discriminated against.
They both were really discriminated against.
The gutsy thing that Biggers did in making a Chinese hero, which went against the grain of pop culture at the time, where Fu Manchu was the evil Asian, Oriental villain. In 1924, Congress passed into law the Asian Exclusion Act, which virtually banned people from that part of the world from coming here. And also it prohibited people living here of Asian ancestry from becoming citizens.
Right.
And those discriminatory practices were part of the culture. And Chan really goes against the grain there, which is interesting.
Yeah, that is very. Yeah. So where does your book go? Where do you take this in your next?
Oh, where does Charlie go, or where does the book go?
Well, where does Charlie go?
Charlie goes wherever he's needed.
Yes.
There are always people getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Agatha Christie. There's always a bunch of people. Somebody gets killed. Let me just read from the back. It says Honolulu's best-known detective who goes to San Francisco, where drug smuggling and a sinister conspiracy, because is there any other kind of mystery novel?
That's right.
Threatened to overshadow the anticipated birth of his first grandchild. So, there you go. Charlie goes to San Francisco, and there are foul deeds being done, and he needs to investigate.
Do you find that this has taken off because there are pockets of not only around the country but around the world of really big fans,
Chan fans,
absolutely,
yeah.
And how have you been received in those communities?
Well, it's been very heartening, very, very gratifying. There are a lot of Chan communities on Facebook and on social media, and I've had people write me from Australia and from South America and from England, and they're they're very happy that somebody has taken this up and revived Chan in print, because, Hollywood hasn't made a Chan movie for decades and may not, but it may someday come around and revive the Chan character.
Boy, couldn't that change everything for you if that were to happen?
In a modern way.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Paul Buckley will make a Charlie Chan movie in Utica. One never knows.
That may happen someday.
But the reception's been good. Otherwise, this wouldn't be book number 3.
Yeah.
It was kind of that way when NKB Publishing, Nick Burns of Utica, and I partnered to do the first one. We said, well, we'll see how it goes. And then a second book, and now a third book, and a fourth book is planned.
So you're on to something.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I can't keep my day job because actually this is my day job. I guess I'm keeping my day job and engaging in this at the same time, right?
All right. Well, that's very cool. I wanted to also talk, when is this out and where
it is?
Will there be a
now
signing?
Available?
Okay.
Amazon.com and the usual places, and you can always look on my website, johnlswan.com, if you want to know what I'm up to. I have a blog and, a newsletter.
Nice.
And actually audiobook versions of all 3 of the novels are coming soon.
That's a tough hill to climb.
It is.
And the fact that you're doing it, that's awesome.
We're exploring all options, but AI is interesting because, of course, you can clone your own voice, but you can also clone any voice, sort of.
Yeah.
And so I was just sitting in the green room before the interview thinking, like, what if it was like, Charlie Chan as interpreted by Jimmy Stewart, or,
Right.
You could just go wild.
You could do it. There may be a copyright problem with that one.
Yeah, that's true.
However,
why is this pistol over here?
Yeah.
Sorry.
How
Andrew had a great
he did.
Jimmy Stewart.
His was always from the my mouth's bleeding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Well, there was, I want a big one, or Merry Christmas, Bedford.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
there it is. So maybe you could do it. And that would be perfectly
Read the
fine.
whole book like that.
You could. But why not use your own voice?
Well, yeah, that's labor intensive. I mean, there's just like it's 230 odd pages. It's about 60,000 words.
So now, how do you, if you're doing that?
Doing what?
If you're doing the audio and using AI, do you go back? Because AI does trip. It makes mistakes.
Yeah. And the awkwardness in
sometimes
the delivery.
Awkward.
Sometimes.
It does. Sometimes it.
That's the sacrifice.
Yeah.
You have to remember, and there's just a piece, coincidentally, in the Times yesterday, there was a column from a guy who said, there's a statistic, there's a survey that says 41% of Americans think that an audiobook is not reading. And the author of this column disagrees. He says, no, think of the visually impaired, think of the people who are doing all these other things. And for them, if they're engaging with the audiobook, it's as good as.
Please do not leave out the attention deficit. Because
true. Also true.
That is an impediment when it comes to getting into a novel or reading a book.
So his take is that audiobooks are absolutely valuable. And so the point of it being that whether it's AI or it's a perfectly articulated and interpreted professional production by a known actor, somebody's going to get some value out of that if that is their preference.
I agree, yes.
Yeah, and I have had several, more than several now over the last couple of years, people like, is it available as an audiobook? Is it going to be available?
And the fact that you're doing it, I think, is big. I've heard others say, too expensive, too difficult to get into, we're not going to do it. I love the fact that you're doing it.
Look, I completely get it, and it's a different way to consume a book, which is typically read, but it is not reading. You can say I read the book if you listen to the audio.
You're going to disagree with the piece in the Times.
I'm going to disagree with that. Just for instance, if I was blind, could I say I'm going to watch tonight's Monday Night Football game if I listened to it on the radio? Would it be appropriate to say I watched the game? No, I listened to the game.
Okay.
But I can understand with
He's
the book,
taking it
you would
literally.
Yeah, the author of the column was saying that the value
is the same.
Intellectually,
and I agree
that you get out of it in the engagement.
Completely agree.
I will ask you then, Jeff, if they read it in Braille, are they reading it?
Yes.
Oh, they are. Okay, good. I was just checking on that.
Jeff's a purist.
A purist. A purist. We're speaking with John Swan, author. Again, the name of the book is
Beyond Murder. Am I holding it to the right camera?
No, you want to reverse because your camera's right
Beyond
there.
Murder.
Okay.
A Charlie Chan mystery.
Love it.
Oh,
Okay.
and the art, I must say, for those watching on YouTube, is courtesy of my very talented and lovely daughter, Sarah Swan, who has done the cover art for all 3 of the Chan books.
That one's really nice. That's great.
Yeah, she does great work.
All by hand or AI? All by hand.
She's an artist.
She's an artist.
Yeah,
you can tell she doesn't. That's real.
Right. She didn't Google this and make it up. Yeah.
That's another area where when you see something in art and AI right now, it kind of has a look to it. You can kind of automatically look at it and say, I feel like that's AI.
You see it in television commercials now, and you go,
if you're watching on YouTube, if you watch during things that are on YouTube, I would say 3/4 of their commercials have AI included.
And the voiceover, too.
Definitely the voiceover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're coming up on our 100th anniversary on December 5th. We'll be celebrating through the whole month of December. You were here for a big part. Talk about some of your history with
I was here at the
IBX.
inception.
I do have somebody asking. It's Mike. I just must have been exciting for John being there when they flipped the switch for the first time, bringing WIBX back on. And
the transmitter was powered by coal. It was very exciting time.
Yes.
I was doing the math just a few minutes ago. It's been 30 years since I was on the radio here.
Wow.
So I don't really remember anything that happened.
So you were in the old building.
I was in the building on Clark Mills Road, which is a stone's throw now from the curling club, the new curling club, which is no longer new.
I love that old IBX studio there.
Yeah, it's just a what do they call it? Not concrete, but blocks.
Yeah,
cinder block construction.
Yeah,
it was very solidly built building, but very nice inside.
Even had a bomb shelter.
Had a kind of a bomb shelter that used to be a record library that then was a bomb shelter.
You wouldn't want anything to happen to the records. That's the key.
Well, the problem was it would flood down there. So
Yeah,
I'm surprised to hear it was
true.
a record shelter.
Yeah.
I never worked in that building. I've always been here. But what are some of your favorite moments of being on the air?
I mean, the building, most people who cares what the building is. But to people like us in the business, I mean, that's probably, except for this place, the nicest radio studios I've ever seen. And, I mean, like you've seen various setups in larger markets, and they had really done a nice job.
They had, very nice.
On the air, I think the thing that sticks with me most is when I arrived there in 1984, the programming was like 99% live human beings, and not just like live human beings playing records. I mean, there was a farm show that was 2 hours long first thing in the morning. There was a guy who did play jazz records but did a very heavy interview schedule overnights. There was, of course, the Polish show, a tradition which continues. There were just all of these components of programming that were not syndicated. There wasn't even, I think Larry King may have been in vogue then, but we didn't bring him onto overnights for some years after I got there. We had live talk in the mornings, in the afternoons. Hank Brown was doing 9 to 12 when I arrived. That's the thing that sticks with me, was coming from the Midwest. It was like, wow, all of this stuff. And it was part of that grand tradition.
It was
right?
a full a building that was bustling.
Yeah,
and
with people coming and going all the time. Yeah. I can't even remember some of the people. There were a lot of people who came and went even during my tenure there and during those early days, but really remarkable, talented people, and a kind of the end of the golden age of that period of broadcasting radio in particular. We were in news. Came there in news, and we had the distinction of going and covering things live. Television then could not.
It was...
They couldn't go someplace and do a remote broadcast.
I hated the moment that WKTV started doing school closings. That was a very telling moment.
That's true,
for
because
me.
TV did not do school
because
closings.
Prior, they never did it.
I still have aged gentlemen now come up to me and say that their fondest memories listening to me as a small child. It's kind of a left-handed compliment.
Yeah,
it's like, you were how old? But 30 years ago plus, and because we were the go-to place. I mean, lots of radio stations did school closings, but
IBX was the authority.
Yeah, we had the staff and so on.
And it's a place where you would check to see what is IBX, what are they airing?
What do they say?
Are they airing this live or so? And you had to more. I know TLB had a news department.
They did. Yeah. RUN had a news department. That was the other thing that astonished me, coming from a small place in the Midwest. You come here, and each AM station, and in fact more than one of the FM stations, had somebody who was doing news, at least in morning drive. And TLB and WRUN had a couple or three people full time who were doing news. So it was the tail end, as I said.
And then you look at some of the history. There was a time, and I did not know this, but there was a time where music had to be played live on radio.
Yes, that's true. Right, the musicians' union and so on, everything was very, and then in the popular culture at large, the live performance was the definitive version of a song. Unlike later on, when groups would try to duplicate what the record was, it was the other way around then.
And I call it the Steely Dan effect. Steely Dan hated going live because they could never get to that point of perfection that they felt they were getting in the studio.
And eventually they approached that perfection, with advances in technology.
Yes.
But the live music, and that's why in pictures of the old studio, you'll see a piano there. If you look at the old schedules going back into the 40s, there were soloists and small groups who would come in and perform. That was the way radio was then.
Yeah. And now here we are today.
Yes.
And I thought about this. I know there was a reunion of sorts that happened here a while.
I was out of town. There were some people who got together who
back in September, I think,
worked there in the 90s, I think.
But I can imagine people looking at the radio, not only us, but the market, whether it be television as well, and just thinking, boy, they're just not putting, it's not like it used to be, because it isn't.
Well,
the world is changing so quickly.
Sure.
Staffs have shrunk tremendously.
Right.
It's
but at the same time,
impossible
technology has changed in ways that make things possible now that were not possible
couldn't
then.
do before.
I mean, it's
the live broadcast, for instance, is
it's ubiquitous
and
now.
Easy.
Right. It's online. Everybody can go online. Everybody's a publisher and everybody's a broadcaster now. I try not to indulge too much in the way back when in my day, because that's human nature partly, but it is also in this case, as you said, literally true. And as I think of it and said earlier, I feel like I was fortunate that I got in at the tail end of a particular era that was unlike anything we're going to see again in that venue.
I feel like I lived that in morning radio. The crazy.
You got to see that.
I did it.
Evolve.
I got to do it.
Yes.
And that actually evolved while I was on the air, because it really didn't exist in the early 80s until Stern came along.
Well, the morning zoo in New York.
That whole concept out of Z100.
Yeah. Yep.
And I got to live that and do radio during that peak time when you had, we would have 20 people in the building every morning doing a morning radio show.
And that's,
now, 3/4 of them were volunteer, but everybody wanted to be a part of it. It was incredible.
Radio is, since it was the medium, say in the 1920s and 30s and early 40s through the war, ever after that, it has always evolved. It has always been this spunky little, don't count us out. It has changed and adapted and found new ways to attract an audience.
I agree. Yeah.
The question is, will broadcast radio continue to do that? Or is the delivery mechanism just going to be online, and the elements of radio, will remain in that guise?
Some had said that, broadcast radio won't work because of the commercials.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, if you go to any popular podcast today,
they're full of commercials.
They're full of commercials, and because otherwise, how do you make any money?
Yep.
Your favorite moments when you were here?
Wow, where even to begin? I mean, as a news person, I was young. It was exciting covering various kinds of events. Election night was always, real adrenaline kind of thing.
And again, same thing. Television wasn't able to do the local like radio could do local.
They basically did what they did, and they broadcast what they had at 11, and then they were off. But we stayed on the air constantly. I think we would go on the air with coverage at 8 probably because the polls would close at 9.
Mm-hmm.
One year we did projections based on exit polling. Actually, we did that a couple of years, and we worked with John Zogby.
I remember this.
This was in the this was in 85 or 86 maybe, and we got a lot of flack for that because this was during the period where it was not long after Carter, I think, conceded, and California was projected to win
before the polls.
They're actually closed. So we made sure that we didn't release our projections until after the polls closed.
Yeah.
Election night was a big thing. Boilermaker coverage because, again, we were the only thing, the only medium covering the Boilermaker live then. That was a big production.
Heart
Radiothon, which, we did that from Notre Dame High School for years, and actually from the LHU Root Reserve Center just down the road for some time. And that was a big production. And in those days, the Radiothon was live the whole time from Friday morning all night long.
Overnight,
the phone didn't ring very much at 2 a.m.,
Sure.
I can tell you.
But it was kind of, to talk about the fact that we were here all night long.
Yeah,
that helped
signature
get the
events
phones
like that
ringing.
are the ones that come to mind. And then there are the things that you can't talk about on the air that happened. Just the fun of working with like-minded people. It was kind of like our graduate school, our post-collegiate experience, because there were a bunch of people in their 20s, most of whom went on to fame and fortune, like Jim Jackson. He was just a little kid, practically speaking, with his first part-time job when I started there. Tim Roy, just a host of really interesting and talented
folks. A lot of great
folks.
Sports names.
Yeah, Danny Klinkscale. And the one thing that more listeners that asked me about than anything else was, what is Joe Zona really like? And Joe Zona was our contract meteorologist based in Massachusetts. And he and I, we just bantered like you guys do.
Like with Ray Stajic. Yeah.
You could talk with the weatherman, and you could talk in a way that you couldn't if you were just, I'm the news person.
Loved that segment. It usually aired, I would hear it coming in at like 5:30. You'd hear... You'd be like by 5:40. You'd be hearing that.
And he was live, several times a morning. So he would update the forecast. But it was his personality that people remembered, and he's this middle-aged Italian American gentleman from Massachusetts, and he came and did personal visits, and it was like royalty
Celebrity.
or a rock star coming to town. Yeah,
pretty wild. So here we are
doing a meet and greet with our meteorologist.
The meteorologist.
Here we are left to carry on the 100th.
Good luck to you.
Can we live up to that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys are doing fine. I think the very fact that you are acknowledging the centennial and doing as much on air and off air as you are really speaks well to current management, ownership. How many corporations in broadcasting can say, well, we have a station that's 100 years old and has a proud tradition of meeting the community's
and still
needs.
exists, still has relevance, which I think is pretty important.
I think of this when I come on the show. What other station, where else can you go from discussing world affairs to politics in Washington, to garbage disposal, to the need to answer the call of nature that garbage men undergo.
That is true.
To me.
Where else are you going for that?
Whole variety of important topics.
It's the beauty of radio.
I should have said solid waste. Garbage. Garbage is one of the few words that comes from French that doesn't sound elegant. Think about it. All those other French words. Yeah.
We had a shop teacher who was very, very jovie when I went to school in high school in Mohawk. And it's funny, my father had him as his shop teacher. I had him as my shop teacher. But he was Italian, and it was garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. That sounds
and that's
better.
Usually how he was describing my birdhouse that I had made. So, garbage.
I made a lamp.
A lamp.
A lamp.
Whatever, right? Garbage. I'm sure yours wasn't garbage.
Mine was a work of art. My wife made me throw it out years ago.
I understand that.
Yeah.
All right, John, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The book is Beyond Murder, a Charlie Chan mystery, available everywhere.
Check it out.
My lovely and beautiful website is johnlswan.com, and happy anniversary.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Quick break, and we'll come back. We're going to talk about the National Toy Hall of Fame has announced there are 3 new toys for the year. I'm looking at it, and it's the FM, just so you know. At least that's what that says up there. We'll get to that coming right up at WIBX.
My name is Mark Fry. I'm the Director of Thoracic Surgery here at Mohawk Valley Health System. I'm a board-certified thoracic surgeon specializing in robotic thoracic surgery. Thoracic surgery encompasses most of the issues that occur in the chest, things like lung cancer, esophageal cancer. We've implemented a multidisciplinary approach to thoracic oncology, which has never been available here in the Mohawk Valley. Patients really benefit from treatment in a multidisciplinary team, with a number of specialties all coming together to provide the cutting-edge, high-quality care that the patients of Mohawk Valley deserve. The lung cancer screening program here at MVHS identifies people who may be at high risk for lung cancer. It really drastically improves their outcomes and survival when we can identify these potential lung cancers early on before patients even have symptoms. Our thoracic program here at Mohawk Valley Health System really prides ourselves on high-quality, cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care.
For more information, visit mvhealthsystem.org.
It's never too early for Lowe's Black Friday deals. Snag some of our biggest savings of the season right now, like 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees. And get yourself free select DeWalt, Cobalt, or Craftsman tools when you buy a select battery or combo kit before the Black Friday rush. Because everyone loves free stuff, right? Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Start your Thanksgiving holiday with the Utica Comets. Gobble down $3 beers with family and friends. The Utica Comets face off against the Syracuse Crunch. Wednesday, November 26th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at uticacomets.com.
On our phones, we have Deb Kessler here to talk about the Christmas and Craft Show coming to Turning Stone Resort Casino Friday, November 28th through Sunday, November 30th. Deb, what is going on at this year's big event?
We have over 240 vendors that have everything from handmade jewelry to home decor, candles, soap, ceramics, so much more. If you're looking for that one-of-a-kind Christmas gift, this is the place to come.
It's Thanksgiving weekend. How can people buy tickets?
Go to our website, which is KesslerPromotions.com, or our Facebook page, which is Christmas and Crafts at Turning Stone, and you can buy your tickets ahead of time, so you skip the line and buy online.
What are the hours for the event this year?
Friday, November 28th is 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, November 29th is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Sunday, November 30th is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
This year's Christmas and Crafts at Turning Stone, November 28th through the 30th. And Deb, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
That's okay if you don't, because I'll just do this. Thank you, Davey. Mazda's More to Move You sales event is back at Steep Pony Mazda. Save on the new Mazda lease. Enjoy 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-70s, CX-90s, CX-5s, and CX-50s with 0.9% on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s and CX-50 turbo models, and 2.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s. See Rick or anybody at the dealership for details. As Rick always says, come in, let's make your deal on a new Mazda from Steep Pony Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Something we watch that happens every year is the Hall of Fame. Have you taken your son to this yet?
I have not.
Oh, you got to go.
I know.
You got to go to Rochester to the National Toy Hall of Fame, which is just a spectacular visit. You will, and I'm saying my boys are in their low 30s, so we took them when they were kids. You can imagine how far this place has come since we were there.
Yeah, 25
years ago. But it is well worth checking out. And every year they do the National Toy Hall of Fame induction. And I think it's now official, right? The latest toys that have been inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame. On the line right now is Shane Reinwald. He's the Director of Communications at the National Toy Hall of Fame in Rochester. Good morning.
Good morning. Always happy to be on Talking Toys.
Do you agree with my review of your facility?
I don't think I could have said any better. It was so glowing. Thank you.
It's just an awesome. And you know what's the beautiful thing about this is? It is awesome for kids, but it's just as cool when you start looking through the incredible collection of toys. It's just as cool for adults.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things for us is that getting across the message that play, it's not just for kids. It's not just this frivolous pursuit, but play is important for all of us. It's so formative when we're kids, but it's something that we as adults should be doing. So I always love when I walk out into the museum and I, see these intergenerational groups, grandparents, the parents, and they're all pointing in the cases saying, I had that toy, or I'm still mad that my mom and dad didn't let me buy that 30 or 40 years ago. So,
what have we inducted for the class? I say who? No, it's not who. Which toys have been inducted for the class of 2025?
Yeah, so 3 good ones this year. So 2 classic games, Battleship and Trivial Pursuit, finally making the cut. And then one that my 6-year-old was super thrilled about. I don't think his mother was as thrilled about, but slime. So whether it's, the prepackaged gooey green slime or the kind of make it yourself, do it at home version.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with your wife, I guess.
Yeah. It's a little... It's definitely an interesting tactile experience.
I was going to ask, is Silly Putty, did that ever make it in?
Yeah, Silly Putty's been in for a while.
Okay.
So
and then Silly Putty,
vein.
You could bounce all over the place, but you also, the thing is because everybody had a newspaper at the time, you'd press it down onto the newspaper, and the print would come off onto the Silly Putty.
Make the imprint with it. Yeah, I remember doing that.
And then the winners, the nominations this year, the finalists included Connect 4, Furby, Cornhole, Scooter, Snow.
Tickle Me Elmo.
The Spirograph. I forgot all about that.
Spirograph. That's been a finalist a few times. And Snow that you mentioned there, that was definitely one that was up for debate. I think folks like us in upstate New York were well aware of the play fun of Snow. I talked to a show out in Winnipeg. They were all about Snow. But some folks on the West Coast were like, Snow? I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, actual snow is a toy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Snow,
okay.
yeah. We think broadly about what a toy can be. So it's certainly a vehicle for play. So in that sense.
That is true. It is.
Yeah,
I think it probably should be.
2 quick questions. One, I mentioned this last week that there's an electronic talking battleship. Does this cover both the paper and pen version and the electronic?
Yeah, so it's Battleship all encompassing.
Okay,
so
and then
it's, more than 100 years old. Sort of the idea of it, but
and then are there video games in the National Toy Hall of Fame?
There are video game systems. So the Atari 2600 and Game Boy handheld system. But we actually now have, as of 2015, the World Video Game Hall of Fame. So that's where we induct the classic game titles like Super Mario Brothers.
And I'm assuming that the facility, if people come out, go to the website, look at your hours. But I'm assuming you now have a lot of interactive things that weren't there 25 years ago.
Yeah, we just expanded the museum, 90,000 square foot expansion just 2 years ago. So It's grown leaps and bounds since I remember going as a kid, and since it opened to the public in 1982. And it's really to the point earlier of play being universal. There is something for all ages, whether it's Sesame Street for the little ones to classic pinball machines that you see the grandparents reminiscing about, playing in the arcades in the 70s.
Very cool. Mike says similar to slime was the product Flubber, which I think came out of a Disney out of a Disney movie. If I recall.
That I don't believe has been a finalist before, but it's certainly been nominated.
All right, good stuff, Shane. Check this place out. It's in Rochester, not far. We appreciate the update this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. Take care.
Have a great day. That's Shane Reinwald, the National Toy Hall of Fame at the Strong Museum in Rochester. Really, really cool to check out. All right, we're done. We're back here tomorrow. Enjoy your day. It's Thanksgiving week. We're back here at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Further cracking down on Venezuela. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S. will today designate a cartel led by leader Nicolas Maduro a foreign terrorist organization as the U.S. military keeps patrolling off the coast in a 2-month operation targeting illegal drug trafficking, blowing up more than 20 suspected drug boats, killing dozens of alleged narco-terrorists.
Reuters out with a new report saying covert action could begin soon inside Venezuela. This comes after a month after President Trump authorized the CIA to conduct those operations. And here's from Reuters. 2 of the U.S. officials said covert operations would likely be the first part of the new action against Maduro. The options under consideration include attempting to overthrow Maduro.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson monitoring the situation in Trinidad and Tobago. There's optimism about a peace plan possibly to end the war in Ukraine.
What we all want to achieve is a durable and lasting peace in Ukraine, a sovereign nation, and the Russians never, ever willing to try to attack Ukraine again.
That's what NATO leader Mark Rutte just told Fox after progress over the weekend.
The U.S. and Ukrainian governments say they've had a highly productive meeting in Switzerland, redrafting and revising a plan for peace.
I can tell you that the items that remain open are not insurmountable. We just need more time than what we have today.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The initial leaked plan was seen by some as so favorable to Russia. Secretary Rubio had to confirm it was authored by the U.S. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he'll keep working on proposals that strengthen his country.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Doge is apparently gone. The Department of Government Efficiency that ruffled feathers, making cuts, angering Democrats.
Outside of some posts on its account on Elon Musk's X social media platform, we haven't heard much from or about the Department of Government Efficiency for a while. It was set up in January with Musk in charge. The Reuters news agency reports Doge has apparently been disbanded with 8 months left on its contract.
That's Chris Foster. America's listening to Fox News.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-926-0155. 800-926-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
Here's the latest news from WIBX 9.